Yo, 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 yo. What's good, my people? Me, Jason Gooner. We're back in the studio, people. So you know what time it is. It's another episode of Reasoning Time. So you know the topic is gonna be something Jamaican football related. And tonight, none other than the topic of the Jamaica U20. The U20 Championship will get underway in 4 days' time, with Jamaica playing their first game in 6 days' time on the 26th. So we are here to let you know all about the rosters for the team, also the opponents in the group as well. We're going to go through their teams as well. And of course, we're going to talk about what we know of the preparation so far. And we do have the issue as well of players not getting released to play in these U20 and youth competitions, if they are as the level that you would want them to be playing full-fledged professional football. Sometimes it is difficult to get these players to play. So we're going to talk about that as well at some point in the show tonight. So people, if you are a fan of the channel, if you are a supporter of the channel, you don't know, the best way to support us is by hitting the like button. Yeah, man. So tonight we're gonna talk about some Jamaican football, but of course we have to say big up to Spain for winning the 2026 FIFA World Cup. They beat Argentina, of course, in the final. And yeah, I think a lot of people were probably happy about the result on the day, just due to the fact that many had grown tired of some of the antics, let's call it, that we would have seen Argentina having in their games. But in the end, Spain won, and some would argue Zlatan being one of them that football won in that World Cup and on that day. So big up to Spain. They are the holders now of the Women's World Cup, the Men's World Cup. They are the Olympic champions as well. And they are the current European champions in the men's side, at least. So yeah, almost a clean sweep on everything. But that just goes to show, when you put a system in place, when you put a style of play in place, what it can do if you stick to that philosophy right across the board. And you're seeing that with the Spain national team and the whole entire federation at this point. So big ups to Spain and the World Cup victory. But tonight is all about the Jamaica U20 and the U20 Championship. So let's get into the reasoning. We don't have no time to waste. We're starting a little bit after 10 o'clock where I am. So we're going to try to run the program for about 2 hours. Let me get the link, because I did want to. Gonna have, might have a little panel tonight. So let me see. Let's see. Missed reasoning time, reasonings. Yeah, man. Back in full effect, you know. Bless up, bless up, bless up, bless up, JB. Big up yourself, man. Conrad in the building as well. Corey MPA, big up yourself. Yeah, man. 1-1 Barca. One Spain, one Barca. Good night. What Spain style? So Richard Green want to know what Spain style is. Well, for me, Spain style obviously is a front foot type of football, pressing game as well, counter pressing. I think the rotations that they play with in their midfield, especially, is a beauty to behold. Also, the way that the wing backs are intelligent in there, whether they overlap or underlap, creating overloads in wide areas, especially. And they're a team that, with the addition of Lamine Yamal, Nico Williams, and that style of winger, I think they've added a different dimension as well. So, you know, we're used to seeing only tiki-taka from Spain. I think they have kind of varied that up now. But the principles remain the same. The press, the counter press. You are not allowed to have the ball for any time. We're going to try to trap you in certain zones, especially. And we're going to have two players, one this side, one that side, and eventually the walls cave in and you will win back the football. So, you know, that Richard Green to me is really what it is. And they also are okay with slowing the game down, and they're okay with going faster. They can play either way. But I think the key to what Spain do for sure is the press and the counter press. You just don't have time to breathe against Spain. They don't give you a chance to get into any kind of rhythm. Can we play like that? Well, Richard Green, I think there are some fundamental principles about how our players play that make it difficult for us to do that. One of them being I don't believe that we move enough in synchrony with each other. So the reason why the press and the counter press work is not because Spain have the most remarkable athletes. It's because they all have an understanding of when to really press. What triggers are they looking for more than one player to try to hunt down the football, right? And I think that comes with film work, right? You really drill into the players. Okay, there are certain patterns that are going to happen every time. The center back pass to the left back pass back to the center back pass to the right, center back pass to the six, right? Certain areas where certain players collect the ball should trigger in your mind, okay, it's time to go win the football, right? And I think Spain do that remarkably better than anybody else right now. It's ridiculous the way how they made France look in that semifinal. I kind of expected it somewhat against Argentina. I figured they wouldn't have the ball much, but against France, I thought it would be much more even in terms of both teams attacking each other. And France could not do anything in that game, mainly because the press and the counter press killed them. You know, so I think it would be very difficult, Richard Green, for us to play exactly like that, because I just don't think our players have the characteristics to play like that. Yeah, it would be difficult, bro. I love what I see if Spain did their homework. Yeah, and Spain, honestly, if you look at it, Melissa, they were the only team that really stifled Messi from getting the ball. A lot of the other games, you see Messi getting the ball in space, and you have to be thinking, what the hell? How does he have so much space? And he wasn't able to find those spaces against Spain. And I think the press and the counter press was a big reason for that. They cut off the supply. They couldn't get the ball to get it to Messi. That a team. Yeah, man, they play like a team. Forget a coach and start from under 15 or 17. Yeah, Richard Green, those things will come from drilling into the youths them earlier, right? So, the hope is with all these coaching diplomas and coaching certifications, the thing that's missing now is, do we have enough competition for these coaches to really develop themselves as coaches? Will they have enough high enough levels to coach at to really improve them as coaches? That's the problem. We have to continue, but it's a domino effect. So if the instruction and the development of the players gets better due to better coaching, down the line you'll see higher level competition, right? But it's you have to stay with it. You have to stay the course. There's no ego. That is very true. Even the star baller them, you know, Yamal most of the time does make a good decision. Even though he's the quote unquote star, it's not like he has to have everything on his shoulder. If him don't score a goal, you don't see him sulking or anything like that. Him just celebrate with everybody else and go on with a World Cup. Simple. All right. Good little discussion to start the show, but big up to Spain again. Definitely show why right now you can't really say nothing more than them are the best. They are the best right now. So it is what it is. All right, people. So let me now get on the screen some information first and foremost before we get to the rosters. We're going to just talk about what's going on in terms of the schedule and the venues and how everything gonna work out. All right, so this is what we need. Okay. Oh, Bala. Yeah, man, we're gonna try introduce them to the public tonight, I think it's very important. I think it's very, very important. Melissa Williams, I thought the same thing in 2010 when they beat Netherlands in the final and then came back to win another Euro. But it was 16 years since 2010 that they win again. And that generation could have done it again. This one is nice and young, so most of the players them have another World Cup in them. So let's see. Let's see. I don't see why they couldn't win another one, Melissa, to be honest. Them have them philosophy sort out, so it's possible. All right, let me send this. All right. Yeah, man, this one is young. A lot of youngsters, a lot of people will be back. All right, people. So for those who not familiar, because you can never get too much information, right? So for those who not familiar, let me just go through how the competition gonna work. Of course, you know it's the U20 Championship, so there's 12 teams. So I'll go through how it goes. So draw has happened already. We know what group we're in. But this was the article basically telling you about it. So following the conclusion of the draw, Concacaf has confirmed that the Estadio Universitao and Estadio Cotamoc in Puebla, as well as Estadio Bonarte in Mexico City, will serve as the host venues for the 2026 Concacaf U20 Championship. The semifinals and final, meanwhile, will be hosted at Estadio Banorte. So, if they get to that stage of the competition, the quarterfinals will be in Cotamoc, and the semifinals and finals will move to Mexico City. These are the groups as they were drawn: United States, Cuba, El Salvador, Haiti in Group A, Mexico, Guatemala, Costa Rica, Antigua, and Barbuda in Group B, and then you have Honduras, Panama, Canada, and Jamaica in Group C. So yeah, those are the three groups right there. You have that one, Mexico, Guatemala, yep, and then you have Jamaica's group. Difficult one when you look at it on the face, but we're gonna go through that as well. The group stage is scheduled to run from Friday, July 24th through Saturday, August 1st, 2026. So our last game in the group stage will be on that Saturday, the 1st. And we're going to talk about the fixtures in just a second. At the conclusion of the group stage, the top two teams from each group and the two best third place finishers will advance to the knockout stage. So, of course, when you add that up, that's 8 teams. So the quarterfinals will be formed as such. The top two teams from the 3 groups, as well as the 2 best third place finishers. So that should let you know what Jamaica would need to do to get to the quarterfinals. But here, this next part now. The tournament, part of CONCACAF's revamped youth national team competitions calendar, will also serve as the qualifying competition for the FIFA U20 World Cup 2027 and the 2028 Summer Olympics men's football tournament. The 4 teams that reach the semifinals of this U20 championship will qualify for next year's FIFA U20 World Cup in Azerbaijan and Uzbekistan, while the tournament winner will also qualify for the 2028 Summer Olympics. Should the United States, who are already qualified as host of the Olympics, win the regional competition, the Olympic berth will be awarded to the runner-up. Mexico won the title last time, defeating USA 2-1 in the final. So they have the full match schedule here. So let me get that on the screen for you guys. Let me see. Boom. All right, so let me show you guys the all right, so this is the schedule for the competition. As you can see there, Jamaica's group is like that. I don't know what you call that now, magenta. So that color the name. So Sunday the 26th, Wednesday the 29th, Saturday August 1st. So get 2 rest days in between matches. The first match day we'll be playing Honduras, I believe local time. Let me double check all the time them go. I think it's 7 o'clock. Okay, so local time it's gonna be 2100, which is 9 o'clock, and the game should be kicking off 7 o'clock Eastern time. That's my time. So that's 8 o'clock in 6 o'clock in Jamaica. That's the first match. Sunday, 6 o'clock in Jamaica, 7 o'clock my time. Honduras, Jamaica. Then Wednesday, same time as sorry, not the same time. That one will be earlier. So that's 2 o'clock my time, 1 o'clock in Jamaica. Jamaica will face Panama. And then our last group stage match will be Saturday the 1st, 2 o'clock. against Canada. So as you saw before, top two in the group and the two best third place finishers in any other three groups, right? So that is how the competition will be formatted. If we get to the quarterfinals, that match will be either on Tuesday the 4th or Wednesday the 5th. And we know that that's basically a playoff final to get to the U20 World Cup if we can get to that stage. So baby steps. First game we have to look at is Honduras, Jamaica. Gooner will be the place to be as we lead into the game to try and get the tactical breakdowns of what we might see from the two teams. All right. Bless up, Ferran. Hope everything is well with you, my G. Yo, 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 yo. One Duke in a building, Honors and respect, my G. Upful Jagans. Floating at the building. Big up, big up, big up. Wait, say, try show them picture. All right, Bala. We will see how many pictures we can get at the ball of them. So you guys can see them, Lamar, hopefully, my G. Hope all is well with you and the fam. Yeah, man. So let me now get to the next point that I want to make about this, and that's, of course, to break down the rosters. So Concacaf did release the rosters for all the teams. So we're going to use that as a reference point to try to look at some of the players that we have in our team. And this can tie into what I was talking about as well as a topic tonight, which is, the players and sometimes not being able to get those players released to play. That's something that really hampers a lot of nations when you're talking about these youth competitions. So we're going to take a look at Jamaica's team first and foremost, of course. And that way we can familiarize ourselves with the players in the team. Some of you that you might not know. I have tried to get as much information as I can about each player. And of course, I would know the players from watching the team already. Tycoon in the building, one Spain, one Barca. Yeah, man, Tycoon, rejoice, workout, just right, Upful Tycoon, upful. Yeah, the youths, them say the youths are the future. So we're going to talk about the youths tonight, all right? So people, make sure you smash up the like button, share the content as well. A long time when I really run out with any of this type of content. So I know my kind of, but yeah, man, do the thing for me and make sure I share it around the place and thing, all right? I know people that want to hear these information, all right? So we have the Jamaica squad on screen. Let me go up here. So we have the Jamaica squad on the screen. And we're going to just go through the squad, just name them out first and foremost, and then we'll go through a little more detail. So number one, of course, first and foremost, U20 is a 21-man squad. So you'll see 21 players on this list. So we have Joshua Grant in goal, or as a goalkeeper, Demario McIntosh, New England Revolution, as a defender, Jaquan Brown, Portmore United, as a defender, Dante Plunkett plays for Man United FC in the academy. He is also a defender. Kai McLean listed here as a forward, but is a defender. Inter Miami FC CF Academy. Owen Jump listed at Mount Pleasant, but I don't believe he's still there. But hey, nothing official yet. I do know that he has gotten a new agent recently. So we don't know what's next for him, but I think this tournament might be something that could propel him to some kind of opportunity. So good luck to the young man. Jamari Nolan, of course, you would know him from U17 qualification as the captain, also doing double duties at the youth level, playing U20 as well, having a good season in MLS Next Pro. This season, he will be back for us, which is great news. Jermaine Young, a late addition to this team, found him just prior to having a tour in Florida where they played against a Haiti invitational team and also played an academy as well. I think it was Miami United, if I'm not mistaken. But I thought he was an incredible find, good midfielder, very technical, good size, good athletic ability. I think people who haven't seen him play yet are going to be very, very happy with this find for the Jamaica U20 team. That's Jermaine JJ Young. Then we have Giovanni Taylor. He has been a mainstay with this particular age group since, U15 days coming right through. So he continues with the team, listed as a forward here. No, he can also play in midfield as well. But has recently, in his young professional career, has been playing mainly as a forward or a wide forward. Then we have Jabari Howell, who kind of broke out last year with Mount Pleasant in the first team. Some great goals in the JPL, great goals in the first round of this U20 as well. Look for him to be somebody that we look to really have some good performances if we're going to get out of this group and make it indeed to the World Cup. Then we have Jamani Bell from Houston Dynamo. Would have remembered him from playing with the U17 some years ago. Was not able to make that listing for the previous qualification round, but he was able to get the release from Houston Dynamo, and he will be here as well. Another one playing in the MLS Next Pro that's on the squad as well. Then we have Sean Tiger Jahari Layton. I just wanted to read out that name because when I saw this list and I saw his middle given name Tiger, I thought that was interesting. So Sean Layton, he's there. Chapelton Maroons, of course, been on some trials as well overseas. From reports, did pretty well in his most recent trips abroad. And I think the future is bright for Sean because he's a hard-working player, and I think he's a pretty intelligent player on the pitch as well. So I think those are things that will get you pretty far as a professional. And don't let me downplay his talent level as well. He's a very good technical player as well. So Sean Layton looking for a big tournament from him. Then we have Janai Stedman, the reserve. He is probably going to be the second in line to Joshua Grant in this team, but he was the goalkeeper for Stets in the Da Costa Cup. Believe he also represents a team out there in St. Elizabeth as well, a club team that is in the major league there. So does have some, big man football experience, you could say. Then we have Dwayne Berger. He definitely has big man football experience playing for Waterhouse this season. Also a member of the U17 qualified team. Utility player, can play midfield, right back, played left back for the U17. So gonna be interested in how Rudolph Austin sees him. He played a little in midfield in the qualifying tournament. Also played some right back. So just want to see where the coach sees him best in this tournament. Then we have Jamon Lyle, a player that was not with this U20 group in the qualifying stage of this competition, but in camps and in appearances since they've been training and camping, has pretty much played his way into this 21 for this competition. So Jamon Lyle, another one of those 2009s, as you can see, Jamaica boasting 3 2009s in Jamon Lyle, Dwayne Berger, and also Jamari Nolan. Then moving on next to where was I? Jamon Lyle. Okay, next is Raekwon Campbell Dennis. Recently signed his pro contract with Toronto FC. That needs to be updated from academy to FC2 at this point because it is official. He is a part of that group now, playing MLS Next Pro as a right back. But for Jamaica, in our colors, has always been used in the midfield, except for that one appearance, which we would all like to forget, the last game of the U17 qualifiers when somehow he ended up on one of the flanks. But anyway, I digress. Raekwon Campbell Dennis, I think, has always done well for himself when he puts on the Jamaican jersey, and no surprise to see him in this 21. Then we have Santana Headley listed as a midfielder here, but throughout the whole process of this team getting to this stage, has become a centre-back option for the coach. We've seen him play there in a couple of friendlies in Florida. Also, would have seen clips of the games they've been playing in Jamaica recently, and he looks to be playing similarly in defense as well. So, he's a converted midfielder, number 6 player that has been moved to centre-back basically on a need basis for this team. I'm going to talk about that as we go through more in detail after I just read out the names. But Santana Headley, Portmore United, didn't really see much with the Portmore United first team, but the coach obviously would know him from coaching him at Portmore as well, so he would know more about that player than most of us, at least. Kimarley Scott, he gets the nod. He was a late addition as well, not a part of the qualifying team that would have gotten to this stage. Of course, we know that team had some big results in those games. Of course, the competition wasn't as high, but when you look back at some of previous qualifying tournaments where we had similar level opposition, I can't remember us scoring that many goals and winning by that wide a margin. So hopefully that means something in this stage of the competition as well. But Kimarley Scott ended the season on fire with Cavalier, big goals in the biggest matches in the JPL. Obviously, he was successful at the schoolboy level, winning the Manning Cup with Excelsior as well. So, quite the rise up the ranks for Kimarley Scott this season. And, we'll see. He's signed on to go to VCU, Virginia Commonwealth, in the Division One athletics system in the United States. There's a lot of divided opinion on that decision from Kimarley Scott, but we're not going to really get into that tonight. Just going to talk about the player and what I think he might do for this team. But Kimarley Scott in the team as a striking option for the young boys. Then we have Brandon Bent, left back, plays his trade a little bit more attacking for Miami FC in the USL, but Brandon Bent for Jamaica U20 has been a solid left back option, so I don't expect that to change going into this tournament. Then we have a name that a lot of people were hopeful we would see in this roster, and that is none other than Che Gardner, and that is obviously the son of one of our brightest ever exports of a footballer in Ricardo Bibi Gardner. His son Che is at Stockport County in League One. Made I would say 5 to 10 maybe appearances in the league last year, mainly off of the bench, but did have a few starts as well sprinkled in there. And yeah, he has been drafted into this team, listed as a midfielder. We know he can play pretty much anywhere down that right hand side, or even the left hand side as well. So pretty versatile. I think he has kind of developed more into a winger type of player. But obviously I'm not the coach of the team, so we'll see what the coach thinks of Che and where he thinks Che can have the most impact for the team. And then Justin Murray, former U17 goalkeeper, is brought in as more than likely the third string goalkeeper. Quite surprising actually that he's there, but I know that there was an injury to the Excelsior youngster who probably would have had that spot. But they have gone for Murray, who, at least you can say he has some experience in these Concacaf competitions, even if those experiences are not the best memories. You understand? So that's pretty much the team names and what club they play for right there on the screen. If you guys don't have this, just take a screenshot right now so you have it and you can reference it throughout the competition. What I'm gonna do now is try to go a little bit more in depth as far as who these players are, what they've been doing, and where they play and all of these things, because sometimes it's just good to know. It's just good to know these things. And Bala, just for you, I will try to get some pictures of the players on the screen for you guys. All right. Where is this kid? All right, boom. This is it. So yeah, this man is in USL League One playing his football, so it won't be hard to get his information. Bless up stats, bless up stats. Marlon is a huge miss. Also, Seymour. West Ham U21 number 10, a huge miss. Also, bless up Rob Smith. Rum talking. All right, people. So it looked like one of the panelists that I had invited on is here. Don't even know how long him did there, but hopefully not too long. Let me see. Add him. Yo, welcome, Gooner TV. What go on? I think you're on mute. I will not hear you. Sidebar, I see Jamaica call up a young lady for the upcoming game. Do they have a camp or a list of ladies? Yeah, so they do have a list of ladies. I think that the press conference for the release is on Wednesday, I want to say. I just got the link to the Zoom. So and they're picking a team to go to the Panam games. Campbell Dennis Isabel, I agree. Short at CB because Kai not play no ball. Missing a few, but I think most of our players are at least professionals and playing big man ball. So I have a little hope. Yeah, man. Some hope there. All right, so I don't know what's going on with my guess, but jump. I think you should just jump off and jump back and see what happens. When I hear nothing, I think you had the mic unmuted and then it wasn't really working. So I don't know. All right, let me now get out of here and let us. So yeah, when you sort out, just forward because we're not hearing anything. No, I haven't seen the CAC game squad yet. As I said, I'm on a Zoom call, press conference thing coming up. I want to say it's Wednesday for some reason. It might be tomorrow, but I think it's Wednesday. Pretty sure it's Wednesday. But you know, if you're on Instagram and you follow some players, you'd see some of them that would have been called already, because the club would have released something about it, right? And it's not under 23, Rob. The women's game, the women's side of the competition is open ages, any age. All right, let me go to this. All right, so the first player we'll have is Joshua Grant. So Joshua Grant playing FC Naples USL League One, third tier of the American Pyramid. So this is his season so far. 3 appearances in the league. Just got the starting role not so long ago. 3 goals conceded in those games. Did keep a clean sheet. Hold on there. Why is this going crazy? All right, so yeah, it was on the bench for most of the first part of the season. Got 2 starts, got another start, then back on the bench. So hasn't really been able to wrestle that first team job, but playing at a decent level, playing professionally as well. So that's something that you have to say, yeah, that's a good look for him. I know he also played some games in. Okay, let me. Yeah, so let me go to all of them. Yeah, so he played US Open Cup as well. And he did play some USL Cup as well. 2 starts there as well, so some more appearances. So 2 clean sheets out of 7 games. I remember he did come on in this cup game and had a good performance in the penalties. Looked like they subbed him on for the penalties. And yeah, hopefully, obviously he's gonna be away from the team during this competition. So not the greatest, but good thing is good relationship with the club. USL League One, probably thinking a club like that probably have more to gain from sending away a player to a U20 and getting that type of recognition. So makes sense that they wouldn't have a problem. Compared to the last U20, no, we were supposed to play a qualifier, Rob, to get there, and the game never happened against I think it was Cuba. We were supposed to play or something like that. And yeah, it just never happened. Compare last U20 to this U20. Do you think they have better preparation and this current U20 is better? Compare last U20 to this U20. Do you think they have better preparation? Um, so this U20, I don't think have better preparation. Well, I shouldn't say that. I feel like this U20 probably does have slightly better preparation in the sense that I think we took the time in between a little bit more seriously in that they still were getting together from time to time and doing some work together. Um, the only thing about the preparation that really upsets me is the lack of competition against teams other than JPL teams, and also not making a bigger attempt to get the team into Mexico so they could have the proper acclimatization time. And I think they really should have tried to make that happen some kind of way. I know it would have been more of an expense because you would have had to find money to host the players for that acclimatization period, because we know that Concacaf, their housing allowance or hotel accommodation would be from a certain time before the competition starts. So um, I just wish they could have found a way to do that more. Try to I don't know, like try some fun, try something. I don't know if they tried anything. They just say, "Oh, we won't be able to do that." So that's the only thing I regret. But I do think that what they could do, like in terms of getting the local players in Jamaica together and training and playing squad games and things of that nature and having camps. I think they have done that to a decent level, you know. Um, and I think the players would be more or less familiar with each other, but, except for some of the ones added in. All right, so let's see if the microphone is tapped in now. Yeah, definitely the same coach is a big difference because Wade just jumping in at the last minute was horrible. Bless up Apache Wagwan. They are all a reasoning. Still not hearing anything coming through the mic, the microphone. So I don't know what's happening. I think you're trying to speak, but it's not. There's no audio coming through. Yeah, so Joshua Grant, FC Naples, as I say, not getting all the minutes as the first goalkeeper, but getting some, and not doing too badly when he plays. I think he's solid. I think he's a solid goalkeeper. I think he'll keep us in matches at times. Um, Definitely a very talented shot stopper. Decent with his feet as well. I think sometimes the decision making with his feet can be a little better, but definitely has the quality in terms of you know his passing range and passing ability. Again, just decision making could be a little faster sometimes, and still at times can get himself into trouble if he has to make a decision as like a sweeper keeper. Should he go? Should he stay? Should he go? Should he stay? That's something I think if I was him, I would be looking at film and working on even more. But I think a lot of his skills inside the box, claiming crosses, shot stopping, his handling is good as well. Yeah, very solid goalkeeper for sure. Yeah, that rush of blood is what I'm talking about. That he's thinking he can go out of his box and get a ball that maybe he can't get. That's that decision making in terms of that particular play, that over the top pass that beat the defense, and you are playing sweeper keeper. Can you get there, or should you retreat and try to get ready for whatever is coming at you from the attacker? I think those little decisions sometimes maybe he doesn't get them quite right all the way. You know. Yeah, so the next player that we want to show, and so far we're good baller with seeing pictures. So that is Joshua Grant baller. It's an up-to-date picture as well. This player I think baller knows because he speaks very highly of him, and I agree with him. I think he's a solid player. Um, I think when you put him up against who was playing his position, it does lead me to think that we definitely missed a trick not getting Mr. Van der Vetteren to come over from the Eredivisie. But we do know that he recently made a move to Excelsior in the Eredivisie, and basically, coming from the second tier to the first tier this season, has been getting a lot of minutes at right back in the first team in the preseason. It looks as if we missed out on getting him released from that new club. So, something that I was going to talk about tonight, and since we're going to play, I have to kind of interject here. The thing that happens sometimes with these clubs is a player won't get released, and it's sometimes due to the club just needs the player. Sometimes it's due to not a good enough relationship between the coaches or the federation and the players' agents, the players' club. That can count against you as well when you're trying to get players released for these competitions. But I think if a player is not released for the competition, it's really not the greatest for the team itself. But one thing that it does shed a light on is how important these clubs value a player like Marlon, a player like Seymour, who, from all that I have been able to gather from people, their omission has everything to do with the lack of a release from the club, and really nothing to do with any kind of coach's decision or omission. So I want to make that clear to people, because I did see Tycoon bring it up in the comment section, and he's right. The two big misses for me in this squad are, well, he did mention another player who I won't mention here because I don't know how much that player was even you know in the thoughts of the coach for one, and also that player being in the thoughts, his thoughts having Jamaica in this U20 as an option. I don't know. But the other two players that he mentioned here, Marlon and Seymour, I will say that those two players definitely are big misses for this team. Seymour, for the simple fact that I think even though we scored a boatload of goals in that first round, I still felt like at centre forward we were missing something, and Seymour would have brought that to the table. No, Marlon was a find before the qualifiers, and believe me, I was very, very, very impressed with that player. Just really technical on the ball at this U20 level. Could have even filled in at centre back, honestly. Based on the options we have in this current team, I think he might have helped us even there in this competition. So I think a huge miss for us, a dynamic player that is a difference maker that we won't have in this competition. But again, as much as I want to get down about that, it just makes me think, great, this guy is so coveted by his new club that they want him to stick around for the start of this Eredivisie season. They don't want any breakup in his preparation for it. As a younger player that just came to the club, they probably want to make sure he's fully bedded in before the season starts. So that's good news in the long term for Jamaica's football, because Marlon did come and represent with the team at the Unity Cup, and that just basically shows, yeah, he's probably in it with us. You understand? So I don't think it's such a terrible thing, and I think depending on how he starts out his season, I wouldn't be shocked if Coach Rudolph Speed, at least inquires and has his thoughts and his eyes on a player like Marlon van der Vetteren for that Nations League first window. And then Seymour, of course, New York City FC. I think when you look at the situation on their depth chart there as striker, it's basically a situation where their first choice is not around right now. They are playing a player that can really play number 10 as the main striker. And when you look at their roster, as far as main out and out strikers go, it's Seymour Reed next on the totem pole. So he's really the first, maybe second attacking sub right now for the entire NYC FC first team. So I think that counted against him a bit. And I also feel like in this instance, it may have been an issue of the communication lines not being as open as they could have been. And it could have maybe smoothed over things a bit more to get him actually here. Rob saying New York is trash for that. Totally entitled to his opinion on that, but I'm telling you, Rob, I think, as I always say about controlling the controllables, that's one of those things where an email, a phone call, a progress report, and early and often reaching out to those who um, have the care of the player, sending training plans, sending camp plans, and just really keeping them aware that you want to have their player in the process. I don't know if we exhaust all of our capabilities in that side of things. And like I said, we could have done all those things in the perfect world, and New York still could be trash and not send him. But I don't believe that for this one in particular, and the reason why I won't beat them on the Marlon one is, that was a new situation, right? So, the club wouldn't have had the time to build that relationship with us. Whereas Seymour, as far as I know, has not left New York City FC. So, that relationship could have been cultivated over time. And I don't think that that type of stuff is happening. And in fact, I know it's not. They're not even using him for more than 10 minutes a game. Yeah, but in this thing, you're always one injury away. Bless up Marlon. Me see I try forward on the program where it's like the device I give you a fight tonight. So you can just go and drop your thoughts in the comment section in between time and we'll go from there. All right. So the Mario McIntosh on screen. Bala left it up for a long time. So well, you know what him look like already. All right. So the Mario McIntosh made some appearances mainly in MLS Next Pro this season with New England Revolution 2. Can't talk. He has 1 goal, 4 assists at right back this season. Does have 2 appearances in the US Open Cup. That's obviously more first team football. Did make the bench as well on May the 23rd, which was a big deal for him to make the bench when they played Charlotte. They did lose that game 1-0. But he did have 2 starts in the US Open Cup, playing right back, beat Rhode Island FC, and then, of course, lost to Orlando. That game was a mad game, actually, 4-3. Then MLS Next Pro, as I said, getting the bulk of his minutes, which a lot of our players, are playing in this league, and playing against each other. Would have played against Jamari here. Don't know if at that time Raekwon was there or not, but yeah, more than likely Raekwon played in that game too. So yeah, playing the bulk of his minutes in MLS Next Pro. This youth is a unit, big, strong brother. Looks like he's every bit of 20, 19 years old, but he's actually only 18. But just very, very powerful player. Still, I feel like the thing that's the stark contrast with him and Marlon. Marlon is just a lot silkier technically on the ball. Don't see that type of touch that we saw Marlon have. I think his game is much more power based. So a lot of Yard fans will love it. You know what I mean? Drop the link in the chat. All right, cool. I think it's because I'm sending it there. All right, so see the link here. What are your thoughts on the team having difficulty preparing due to lack of resources? Well, yeah, that's a definite. I think maybe the hope was obviously we'll get the windfall from the qualification, and that could then be funneled towards some endeavors for this team. I think also the U17 team qualifying with what we thought of going into that tournament as a complete lack of preparation, no overseas, nothing, just everything at home, playing U20 teams in Jamaica, playing Premier League teams in Jamaica. But them qualifying for that World Cup, and then when you put that against the team last year for the U17 falling just short, they had a lot of preparation, went to New York, had a camp there. They went to Mexico, even played a tournament pre the qualifiers in Mexico as well. So they did, it was quite a financial undertaking, the U17 team that didn't qualify, when you put that up against a team that did not spend as much and they end up qualifying, it's almost like, why would any organization spend money again or more money than they think they need to have the success that they had with the U17 that just qualified? So I think there was a couple of things working against this particular campaign getting a lot of funding. One being the actual lack of funding, and two, I think the argument has been made before that, well, we didn't really do that much preparation outside of Jamaica and we qualified for the U17. Can we recreate that magic in the U20? So I think it's a combination of things, but I feel like those two things working together make it that, yeah, it wouldn't work out. All right, it looked like Marlon sort out. Big up Marlon, what go on? Can you hear me, Marlon? The money they used to send Speed to go practice coaching could have been used. Well, if they didn't give Speed that money would have been going to my boy named McLaren still. So somebody was going to get that money.
Yeah, Jason, are you hear me now?
Yeah, you forward through now perfectly. Walk on.
There, now. Bless up everybody and big up everybody.
Yeah, man, I for call him pause for real, bam.
Yeah?
Man say, oh, your name a pause tonight. So yeah, so you hear me I talk about the team and thing. Yeah, Bam say forward on the play button for you. And Bam, the link in the chat too, if you want to forward and say any words. But yeah, I just go through the team because Bala say he wants to see the picture of them. So I make sure put up the ball of them picture, leave it on the screen. Because Bala is a man where, he need to see the people in face. Yeah, so he can mark them. All right. So, but hear me talk about the team and some of the
Yeah.
difficulties of getting the players from the club. No man, Bam, you're safe if you want just audio. You're safe.
Man,
Yeah, so what are
I
your
think
thoughts on like some of the difficulties that these clubs and national teams have getting them players for these U20 competitions?
well, it's not something that's only tied to Jamaica, right? One of our opponents, they're probably missing probably their deadliest front three, who could possibly be the deadliest front three in this Concacaf playoff as well. I think Marlon is going to be a very big miss. We saw what he did when he made his debut. Came on as a substitute and hasn't looked back since. Went on to make a senior debut as well. But we know the whole situation. He has moved to a new club, which they see him as a person, a player vying for the starting left back, right back for Excelsior. So he's gonna be a big miss. I think the fire power, we scored a lot of goals the last time, but I think Seymour is a different level, different animal that would have brought something really good to the forward line. I think he's gonna be a big miss, although he didn't play in the last qualifier. But as I said, the players are there. We have to bank on Nolan deliver. He has been having an excellent MLS Pro season. I think 7 goals and a couple assists to it.
Yeah, I think he added 2 more assists the
Yeah, 2 more
last
assists
two.
on
So,
the last game on Friday. So I
mm-hmm.
think he's gonna be someone key there. I think Jawari as well. Howell. So just looking forward to it. It's as I say, it's a group of depth. We also can see that the Canadian senior coach is also the under 20 coach. So that's
Mm-hmm.
gonna be another a very talented Honduras team as well. So but that's still if we get the luck, right? I think if we can get 4 points and third or second and get in the playoff, you know it goes from there.
Yep. Yep. Because one half game and it's still youth football at the end of the day. So you come up with a game plan and you stifle the opponent, you never know. You never know. You can maybe
I
come through
think,
with the
and
result. You know.
I think the coaching unit of this under 20 team might be more in tune to what's going on. So it's
Yeah,
still,
I agree. I agree. And I think, even though I don't think either one of them really like have any kind of experience at this level, I do get the sense that they are going to at least have an organized team. I
well,
don't get
I
the
think
sense that they're going to be
we
under.
basically saw what Rudolph has done with Portmore for the past 2 seasons. So you're looking to have that foundation from the base coming up into the midfield, right? And surprisingly, as we say, scoring over 20 goals in the first round, yes, the teams are totally different. But yeah, I think he has the experience now. Two seasons now he's on the international scene, so I think he's a very bright-minded coach as well. So looking forward to him really putting his blueprint there. As I said, I'm looking for him to being organized, right, and with Jeremy and Thomas as well. So I think both of them coming together and really. So as I said, if we can get luck on our side, yeah, probably can get over the line this time.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the first step you try to get out of the group. Obviously how the competition set up, that you're gonna have the two best third place. But my worry is Marlon, if we get one of those spots, more than likely we're gonna face one of the two group well, it's three group winners. So we'll get two of one of the three
Yeah,
group winners.
so a possibility of Mexico
Mexico
or
or
US.
USA. And obviously the ball is round and yeah, but me personally, if we could have slide some kind of way into one of them, obviously winning the group are the best thing.
Because
But if we
remember
can
this
get
as
a
well.
second, bro,
If you get second, you can play a second
bro,
place team or a third place team. You can play a
right,
second
a
place team or
second place team at least. You might get one of the first place team then, but you have a chance to get a
get a
second place
second
team,
place team,
which
yeah.
level up the playing field a little more for that 1.5 game there. So I think the group stage will be critical, and that's why Magos keep going through the Jamaica team, but of course, before the night done, we'll have to show the teams who we're going to face as well and try to see what kind of level those guys are on, right? So Jaquan Brown, sad to say, no picture for Jaquan, but I'll get a picture before the night done for your baller. But Jaquan Brown plays for Portmore United. Didn't really get first team opportunities last season in the JPL. We have to be honest. How he rose to prominence, really and truly, he dominated in the elite league, the U18 or U90, whatever age it is over there. Portmore became the champions of that. So Portmore actually, when you look at it, double champions this season, winning the elite youth competition and also the actual Premier League. So a good feat for them. But Jaquan Brown, after dominating in that, must have turned Austin head and put him in this team. And he hasn't really looked back. He played in the couple of friendlies in Florida. I think he adds a good balance to the back line because prior to him, I didn't see a left-footed centre-back option. So I think for me, that make him pretty much a nail-down starter just because he's going to balance that, defense with the left foot, right foot type of combination, which most coaches like to have. So I don't think Austin will be any different. So Jaquan Brown, you know, consistency for me is what him need to work on. Just making sure that him staying top-notch focus throughout the game. And I think that's something that I worry about with him because how many games has he really played at a really elite level, right? He's not really getting that challenge day to day. It was clear that he was better than the elite cup level, but could not force his way into that Portmore team. But I think for whatever reason, I still have faith in the kid in Omal, and there's a lot of things about Jaquan Brown that I
But
like.
Jason,
What's
if you
your take
remember
on
from the previous, if you remember the last under 17, I think he played in 2 games,
it?
right? Scored a couple goals as well. I think he had an assist as well. And we are all saying that even when we were playing that, don't want to touch back in the past too much, but we are all saying his performance in those games the game that he played in, right?
Warranted a start.
They were warranted a start. And I think, let's say, didn't get a minutes wise in the JPL, but I think he's a revelation of the Elite Cup. He's somebody that really came back and really come dominate and stuff. And it's really good to see him back in the team. As we said, I think we are short and centre backs, but it's really good to have him to see him being a part of it and possibly being a starter as well.
Yeah, I don't just on the makeup of the team, I would be shocked if him is not one of the two centre back starters. But that is Jaquan Brown. As I said, Bala, my apologies. Transfer market don't catch up with the youth yet, but you don't know. I will try to get a picture shortly. So Dante Plunkett is the next player on the list. Now, this player does play in the academy over at Manchester United. You can see what he did last season as well. Let me see. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? I don't know. Stats by current season. All right. So he's played mainly the U18 Premier League over the course of his career so far, his young career. Let me just go to the last season itself. So there you go, 12 games in the U18 Premier League, 2 assists. 1 game in the FA Youth Cup, but that was just 1 minute. I think that was actually the final, I believe. Yeah, he came on in the final against Man City, 1 minute, and then played the injury time as well. But he's primarily a left back, can play a more attacking role as a left winger as well. But you see the bulk of his minutes coming at right back, at left back, sorry. So a left-footed player. He was supposed to go to the qualifiers. Looked like he was gonna make that 21 mile and ended up getting an injury right before leaving for the competition. And I don't know if this has gotten out yet, but I did get correspondence today that there's a chance that he actually has suffered the same exact fate going into this competition. So from my reports, I have heard that the player has suffered an injury. Don't know the full extent of the injury, if it's going to keep him out of the competition. But I think that they are making arrangements now to see who would actually be replacing him if he can't go. I will not reveal that player just because, as I said, it's not really set in stone that he won't be able to go. But I do know that he has suffered an injury setback, Dante Plunkett. So some of you may not have seen him play yet. He did go as a part of the team with the Unity Cup in terms of getting some training time. So he was seen by the head coach of the national team, Rudolph Speed. And Austin had all plans to take him to the qualifiers, couldn't make it due to injury, and it looks like he might actually have the same issue this go around. Marlon, you have anything to say on the player?
Well, it's a player that I've seen being a part of that Manu Academy coming up, playing in the Prem 2. Very good with the ball going forward, steady defensively. I think he is really complement Bent. Bent is a sturdy, better with the ball being defensive.
And
Right?
Marlon, not to cut you off, but I have to correct you. He actually plays in the U18 Premier League. He hasn't played Prem 2.
Well, you waiting. Yeah, my mistake on that. So as I said, 12 appearance, but very good with the ball going forward, attacking, has speed as well. Control left foot,
Very,
good
very fast.
delivery, right? And as I say, I think he far short the last time through injury, and if the same thing occurs again, I think he'll be very, very, very unfortunate. But a very good young talent to really have at this time and going forward. I think from what I've gotten from the coach, really likes him a lot. So
Yeah, so just for my friend Bala, let me show you real quick. This is what Dante Plunkett looked like. I think him recently cut off him strength, but we now hold that against him. Dante Plunkett, that is the young man there. Man United, you see the fresh 26-27 kit. So you know, see the picture them fresh. And yeah, that's Dante Plunkett right there. So sad to say, people, it's looking like we might not get to see him in the competition. But as I said, we don't know the full extent. We just know that he did suffer a setback. So we will keep our ears to the streets and we will keep you locked into what's going on with him as we move forward. Now, the next player in the list is Kai McLean. I don't think I'm spelling his name right. There we go. Kai McLean, Inter Miami FC or CF Academy. Sorry, I keep saying FC. I don't think that they're gonna have his academy level on here. So yeah, I know that he's not made it, which is kind of sad, man. And for me, he hasn't really been able to force his way into that MLS Next Pro roster. At 18, that's something that with his trajectory and what he has been able to accomplish in the MLS Next Academy League, you would think that the progression was coming. I know he's had some really, really bad luck with injuries at club level. And I think that might be a part of what's going on. But is there anything in his game, Marlon, that you see that would be preventing that step from being made other than just bad luck with injuries?
I think it's more injury because last year, even the MLX we're calling it the All-Star game. He was actually a part of the
He was
East
a
Side
starter.
champion. He was a starter, right? So I think I was looking forward to really see him kicking out. As I said, he has had a few niggles there and there. So, but I think he's our key centre back, right? And hopefully goes there and can lead us through. But very, very talented player, can also play right back as well. Very, 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 very talented player.
Yeah.
As I said, you were really looking for him to see him kick on this season, and also that Inter Miami two MLS team is they're really stuck with a lot of international players and their roster as well. So you have to really compete to beat that team.
Yeah, I think you would have to have like an injury-free run for a while to really get
Definitely,
that chance.
definitely.
But I think with Kai, one thing I will say is the ability is there. You can see the ability. I just want him to be. Sometimes I wonder, does Kai think he's good? You know them way like some players, the way
Yeah,
them
I think
carry
I think I
themselves,
think I
them
was saying
stand
to like
up.
Jason. I think players need to really challenge themselves, and you have to tell yourself that you're the best out there as well. As I say, he's a very. He seems like he has a very cool character, right? Not the really aggressive type. Somebody who's easygoing and stuff like that. So sometimes, as I said, if he thinks he's good, but as I said, he have to challenge himself.
Mm.
And because even I remember we had a conversation about Marlon going to Excelsior, probably leaving Surety, where he just start off FC Eindhoven, and but I say it's a step upward and 18-year-old. But we if anybody has watched him playing even in the second division, see the ability that he has, and from what we saw of him playing in the semi-final round, we see what he can do going forward, defending as well. So, and they have him now as a part of their project going forward. So, as I say, he be about. I think Kai have to really put himself and say, guess what? I'm the leader for this team.
Yeah, I kind of want him to take a more leadership role. I mean, I know you can't make somebody that's not a vocal person vocal, but it's not even about the vocality. It's just more so like, yo, just take ownership of yourself.
Yeah,
Like,
man, definitely.
I'm Kai McLean, I start for Jamaica at centre back. Like, carry yourself. You know what I mean? Like, somebody need to instill some confidence in the is basically what I say. It seemed like he want somebody to really show him, say, yo, you have the
You see,
potential to really go somewhere.
I'm not cutting it. It's even Demario. I think his mentality that somebody who just want to go there and want to compete
Mm-hmm.
and say, yes, I'm there with you, it doesn't matter. And we're basically seeing that they brought him up to the New England first team,
Mm-hmm.
right? So he's actually a backup right back there a couple of times. I think he made the bench
Yeah,
for
he
him.
made, he made the most recent game before the break. He
Yeah,
was on
and
the
he play,
bench.
and he played in those two Open Cup games.
And they started him in both the Open Cup
Yeah,
games, yeah.
and he looked like he belongs there.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna find nerves popping in there and there, but still show the ability to go forward, defend same way. Unfortunately, they went out to a very good Orlando team.
Yeah. So all right. So Kai, as I say, I mean, I know you somebody where see some of these shows and thing. Just have some more confidence, youth, because I think I see a player in there. Sometimes I just want you to know, say the player is in there too, because I feel like you can even be even more dominant than you are, So just go and do your thing, my youth, and we'll be watching. Because I think you'll play, Kai. I mean, there's not many other center backs in the team, so I think it's you and Jaquan for the most part. I know there's other makeshift players there that can play center back, but if I'm looking at it realistically, it's really two center backs in the team, honestly.
100,
And
100%. We have that conversation, had that conversation so many times that I think that's where we are weak. And even we are talking, I said, I'm worried for them going against that juggernaut that Panama would have had there, right? Lucky fortunate for us, none of the three won't be there, so we won't get to face those three 18-year-old giants.
yeah, we don't have to face them. So why? That's what I rough, may I tell you. All right. So Owen Jump is the number 6, the next player in the list. Owen Jump, of course. One thing, Marlon, you are the Mount Pleasant man. Sofa score needs updating, or is that correct? Is he still at the academy?
They still have him listed as a more pleasant player. But I said very, as I said, very intelligent player. Um, Started off the season very good for us. Clifford was out, so he was getting more game time. Played a couple of the Champion Cup games, the Caribbean Cup games,
Mm-hmm.
and was starting in the Premier League as well. So the bigger boys come back. So good, well, he's good, very talented player, leader. Um, Hope he put in that performance. As I say, he's a safe player. He's not the destroyer CDM that most person like to see. He will hold and try to keep the ball as well. Um, has aggression in him if he need to play that way.
Yeah, I think. Look, I've always liked the player Jump. I think I, I maybe would have wanted to see a little bit more of an upward trajectory from him, like from the U17 to now,
Yeah,
like what I thought I was gonna see out of
I
him.
agree with you as well.
Yeah, I don't think he's been stagnant, but at the same time, I would have thought a little bit more kicking would have happened and occurred. I know it's not easy being at Mount Pleasant with the kind of options that they have in that midfield. It's not an easy team to break into as a youngster. But at the same time, you look at Jabari, who is in the same team, he show you that the door can get kicked over if you do what you're supposed
Yeah,
to
but
do. So,
I not really want to deviate from the Jamaican. But if you look at them over the past 2 seasons, young players has come in and has really take the opportunity. They get opportunity and just grab it with both hands. We saw Franco did it this year before, and Jabari came and did it this season.
mhm,
So, and I said Jamari, Nolan and him. Nolan was there the season before, got his
mhm,
opportunity. Jump got his
mhm,
opportunity. Miguel Joseph and stuff. And
mhm.
I said we all know the ability is there. Not the biggest player, but as I said, very technical.
Yeah, so Rob said him need to go and loan him now, play enough ball. Um, I don't fully disagree with that. I think that,
Well, he needs playing time. He needs playing time.
I know that he recently got a new agent, so I think that he's trying to get him some opportunities. So we'll see what the future hold after this tournament. But again, there have been some additions to this team since the qualifiers. And I think Jump going to have a similar situation like what he was facing at Mount Pleasant for some of these places in midfield. But that's going to be a convo for the tactical breakdown day. But that's just my thoughts on it, and we'll get to that deeper another day. But the next player that we're going to talk about in the list after Jump is somebody that he knows very well from his days in the academy at Mount Pleasant, and that is Jamari Nolan. Now, couple years ago when we did this, there would not be a picture and transfer market for Jamari Nolan. Times have changed, Marlon. So This guy has won the most outstanding player in the U17 qualifying. This
Yeah.
guy has gone on to sign a professional contract in Canada with Toronto FC. He's doing extremely well. 6 goals, 1 assist. That's not updated because the 2 assists from the last game aren't there. So it's really 6 goals and 3 assists. And or 7 goals and 3 assists.
It
Sorry,
should be 7 goals and 3 assists, yeah.
yeah,
He
seven
scored
goals and
against
three
CT the
assists.
last.
So this kid has really gone from strength to strength. And I think some people were surprised when he got the call up in the U20 for the qualifiers. Did his thing there as well. And I think he's only been getting better and better and better since he's gone to Toronto. So I still don't know though, Marlon, if his best position is at number 9. I think when you see him playing that position for Toronto, it's usually with as a like a, either a secondary striker or
Yeah,
he
so
has another striker
they
near.
play up front too, and he tends to be the one. They play like how Canada play that, like how David we normally
Right.
roll him off. Yeah,
With a Larin,
yeah.
Jonathan David, or
Alawashi,
yeah,
Promise.
yeah,
Yeah,
Tani and Jonathan, or however them going to do it. So that's what I see Marlon thriving as. And even when Marlon play, I mean not Marlon, Nolan plays just off the striker, he doesn't really play it like a typical number 10. He really does play like a support striker role. So
yeah,
um, I think that's really and truly his best position, and that's why I would have loved to have seen a Seymour as the 9 and a Nolan as the secondary striker. I think that would have been perfect, but we
definitely.
won't get to see that. So, based
And
on that, Marlon, do you see Nolan probably as the starting striker for this team?
well, definitely. We watching him week in week out. Playing. We were there taking in him on Friday afternoon. Right. We see the player that has got us left more pleasant last year, and he has really gone on to really. When you said taking steps and taking the leave, he has done it. He has also played for TFC
Mm-hmm.
in the Canadian knockout
Canadian
function as
Championship.
well.
He started the game as
Started
well.
as well. So that's a big move. Training with the first team as well. So as I said, the other day we were having a conversation. We talk about a super talent. I think he's one there, right? And we saw on the player features for the Concacaf Championship. He was also one of them. He and Kai were the two Jamaican players being featured. He's
Mhm.
exploit in MLS X Pro. So I think he have to lead that front line. And I'm looking
Yeah,
for him to really deliver as well.
yeah. I think in the games in the qualifiers, he was one of the few attacking players that you could say, boy, him really could have had way more goals. I remember him missing quite a few easier
Yeah,
chances in that tournament. So my hope is that he was saving them all for this one, because we know that he, on his day, is a very, very clinical finisher.
and also too, no, I don't want to really say, but remember say he was just in preseason
Mhm.
coming into. So imagine him coming full tilt coming into the championship.
Yeah,
Looking
he's
for him to
much
deliver.
more he's much more ready, I would say, in terms of where his game would be right now to
Yeah,
really
definitely,
perform.
and it shows you when you get the basic development, right, and you get in a system now that can really polish you off for the professional scene, and you see it's really gone and really putting out those display.
Well, this is why you can't too depend on sofa score for everything. So this is Jermaine JJ Young. Marlon, just to anybody that don't know background on the player, what can you tell us about Jermaine Young?
Um, box to box midfielder, very technical, 2-footed. Right, a lot of persons say they see him as a 6. I think he has the ability to really dominate a midfield, control the flow of the game, good passing. Um, the game that they played against us the other day, when I check up on it, he was the first player that they mentioned. That very, very talented, good deliveries, dead ball as well. So I think I think he's gonna be for us to really move through. I think he's got to really come to the party and really, as I said, he's gonna make his international debut for us as well. So really looking for him to really bring the ability that he has. We have seen him already. I don't know if a lot of person is acquainted with it, but very, very talented.
So this is a player that I know, some of the people behind the scenes that try to find potential players for Jamaica would have found, told the coach about. The coach was smart enough to get him into the Florida trip. So that's the first time I would have seen him play. Um, and believe me, Marlon, it took
After
about
five
maybe, I
minutes,
don't know, it took about maybe 5 minutes
yeah, 5 minutes. Cause
for me to wonder, like,
we're watching the game.
where did we find this kid? And let me shake the hand of whoever sent this kid, because I'm telling you, Robbie know nothing about him. I was just like you. And trust me, the kid can play. So I was in doing the research for him. I saw that he was at one point at a National League club, and I didn't really know much about him. Now I did find out that he went to Casapia last season, and
Yeah,
that's a
playing
team
on
in
19.
Portugal, and he was playing over there for the season. For those of you that never seen him before, I do have a picture, Bala and anybody else. This is what he looks like, right? Jermaine Young. That's probably a picture from like last year. So him look a little younger right there. But one thing, he's a tall player, rangy player. Um, you know, Somebody said it the other day, and it's a bit crazy to say, but they say he reminds them of Jude Bellingham. I see more of a little more of a play setting type of player than Jude Bellingham, who I think is more of a finishing type of player.
Yeah,
But I think he has a lot of quality. Very technical. I saw him take a free kick in one of the practice games and score easily, like him do that every day. So I just think this player overall, him look like him can cover space really well. He's a good communicator on the pitch. He just got to the team, and it looked like he already was taking on like a leader type of role in the team amongst the players. I think the players as well, it didn't take them long to realize that he was a baller too, because everybody was talking about who is this kid. So
and
I think people are going to be pleasantly surprised with this find. And
and Jason, put it this way: another Marlon.
yeah, absolutely. In terms of the technicality, in terms of how easy everything looks for him on the ball, I just think people are going to be pleasantly surprised. And I know a lot of times we talk about players and them come and them don't perform. Look, he's still whatever age he is. So yes, he might not do
I think
perfect.
no,
But I'm telling you, if you watch this kid and you don't see quality, you just don't want to see it.
he's and Jason, imagine he came in and was there a couple of days with the team.
No,
So imagine now where you see him now coming in now, having a couple of days training, a couple weeks training with them. So yeah, man, I'm looking for him to really, really step out and show the ability he has.
but I'm saying find a mugshot. Brother, the one picture will pop up with him, bro. Hold on, let me see. See there? Man, them not show me nothing, brother. That's the mugshot alone, bam. Yeah, so but that's German young people. I'm telling you, look, I'm willing to tell you that I believe this kid can ball. See? So don't be surprised if you see him and say, yo, Gooner, did I tell me you can play, I'm a good baller, man. Very good baller. Very technical player. All right, the next player that we're gonna look at, because we'll just go through all the player them real quick. So this is Giovanni Taylor. As I said earlier, this is a player that most of you, that if you're following this youth team, this age group in particular, you must have seen Giovanni Taylor playing for Jamaica. If not that, you follow the JPL. He's been playing a couple of seasons now with Arnett Gardens. Had a decent season last year, did score a few goals as well. So I have to give him his credit. One of the
Well, a hat trick
criteria,
as well. He had a hat trick as well. So
did have a hat trick in one of the games. As you can see there, over his career so far, 11 goals, 3 assists. And we know it's transfer market, so take that with a grain of salt. Not going to quote those numbers, but that's somewhat some truth there to what he did in that competition. But he's one of the few ones, if you're going to look at one of the criteria for the U20, if you're going to make the team playing locally, you need to be playing first team football. And he fits that criteria. For me personally, I think he's probably going to get used as a striker in this team. I don't know if that's his best role. And then if you're telling me that he's going to play wide forward, I think we have much more better options in the squad as it
Yeah.
is. So
For
for
me,
me, I don't
I have
really
him
see
as a backup.
much
I have him as a
game
backup.
time for Gio, but because he has such a history with this team in general, I think the coach will find some minutes for him here and there. And he can give you a goal,
Yeah,
but not my favorite player, to be honest, Marlon.
and to be fair, Jason, he has been there for under 15, under 17.
Right, true.
So he's just another person taking the transition up forward. But I think if a player need to step up, yeah, he's one. If a player need to show that he deserves to be there, yeah, this is the competition that he need. And guess what? You're basically playing all a Concacaf is seeing you now. So
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So Gio Taylor, as I said, I think he's probably gonna be some kind of sub option, but again, he has been in the team, probably one of the ones that is most familiar with these CONCACAF
yeah,
competitions
the
in
foundation, yeah.
Jamaica. So that is something he has going for him, I think. So and as I said, just because I don't rate him that highly doesn't mean that he's not going to get chances in the team. It's just not my favorite player, right? But he has done some decent things in his career already as a young player, getting chances at Arnett, producing as well. So I have to give him his respect. Yes, he was the captain of the U15 and the U17.
And
Actually, I
then
think the captain for the U15 was Kai, but the U17 he was the captain. Yes,
and it's actually good to see Kai
Kai
jump
Miles, not Kai
yeah,
McLean, by
yeah
the
man.
way.
No, I'm talking Kai. All three of them really stepping up now,
Mm-hmm.
stepping up from stages to stages. So
Yes, they have been. Yeah, and that's something that we have always asked for, Marlon, right? So
yeah,
we
because
can't highlight that.
we said under 14, under 15, and you can basically see them making the transition now, which is really good. That show
Right.
that
So we have a couple of players been coming up. I mean, Murray won't get much game time, but he's a part of that mix as well. Justin Murray, the goalkeeper. Then you have as you say, Kai McLean, Gio Taylor. You can even include Raekwon Campbell Dennis in
yeah,
that.
yeah,
Papers
and
why we never
also
play U15.
yeah,
So yeah, there's quite a few that have made that jump from stage to stage, and that's something that we have asked for to continue. Because we'd like to see more of our U20 players get to first team as well. So hopefully that is something that we start to see more and more within our footballing system. All right, so Giovanni Taylor, the next player now is going to be wearing the number 10. And we have talked about him a few times already in the show, just from talking about I don't think there's a H there. There we go. Jaja. So yeah, he's listed with the academy as well. But honestly, transfer market, you need to get it right. The man literally plays for the first team now. As you can see, 21 appearances in his career, and I think all of those, if well, most of those, if not
yeah.
all,
He had a
were,
few. He had a few this
he
season
had like
before.
two or three the year before.
Yeah, about
So the
around
bulk of
four,
those
yeah.
21
4 and
is
1
going to
goal.
be this past season, and then you have obviously some playoff appearance as well this season. So yeah, his kick on this year was something kind of remarkable, to be honest, because Jabari is the same age as, let's say, a Gio Taylor. Jabari is the same age as a lot of these players, and uh, you might have known about Jabari because you're in tune with Mount Pleasant. Me personally, I just knew that JC had a really good player. And that's kind of the first time I saw him was with JC. I didn't see him at Mount Pleasant
Yeah,
first.
well, he actually
Um,
he was one of the one that came out of the academy, so he
and I
was there.
and I, and I lie. Another thing that opened my eye to Jabari too was last year Elite Cup. Because him was in the mix with Franco them starting up that
Yeah,
league.
yeah.
He was also playing with them. So I remember seeing him in that league. But yeah, really and truly this year is when,
For me, for me this year he was a breakthrough player, breakout player for me this year. Really, really scored some really stunner free kicks. Yeah, he has really stepped up and really player with is a player who's really high on his confidence.
yeah. Yeah,
And when you talk about this, when you're talking about somebody bringing a performance from the under 20, right? He came off the bench, scored, and hasn't looked back since.
I don't think him sit back on the bench again.
Yeah, went on to
So Marlon, he's a versatile player, but for you at this U20 level and with what our team needs, my question for Jabari would be where you put in Jabari. We've seen the coach, him kind of play like a 4-3-3. Him usually have like a soul six with 2 8s or 8 and 10 type of thing. So knowing how the coach play, where you think Jabari would give the most effective performance for us?
well in the number 10 role, right? So
Okay.
I more go a 4-2-3-1,
So the
right? So
most
given that
advanced
freedom,
midfielder,
yeah,
basically.
given that freedom, he can either go right and go left and play that central position, right? He can, I think in a 4-3-3, he tends to go wide a lot. You want him in the center where he can really
So you don't you
visualize the
don't you
game.
don't want him to be pigeonholed to one of the
No, no,
sides.
no.
Yeah.
I don't want to be cheating the game and go one side. And the thing about it as well, he he's very good going forward, right? I think when you have him playing a 4-3-3 now, you really he's have to do that defensive work where he still young, but as I said, I think he can work on that in the development. But
Mhm.
when you want somebody to really up there to be that man, especially link up play around the box with him and Nolan, and I think I'm really excited to really see him. We basically saw what he even did in basically we have called it the first round final against Puerto Rico,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
So yeah, and I said he's someone who really came alive. When you talk about the final, the first round, right? We have said Marlon, he and Marlon between those two highlight.
Yeah. Yeah, no, Jabari. I mean, he had some crazy highlights in that tournament. I remember the solo goal with the
The solo
dribble,
goal there.
free kick. I mean, some very good assists as well. So, yeah, just a player that, I think if him and him game, we can definitely cause any team problems if you get him on the ball. So looking forward to seeing his performance on this level where the competition is another step.
Yeah,
I don't think it's anything that would be overriding for him. It's just a matter of how does the way his style translate to these better teams we're going to play. That's what I'm interested to see in this competition. That he held his own the best he can in the Concacaf Cup. Yeah, man, he was decent in there in those games. I thought, as a matter of fact, at times, him
I
never
thought
looked the youngest in the team when they
I
were
thought the
playing. So
first game,
game.
I thought for the first game still when he came on, I think it really kind of overwhelmed him.
It took a yeah,
Yeah,
it took a
but
little
when he the return leg looked more comfortable, he was at home.
yeah.
But as I said, a player playing a game at that magnitude who just finished playing schoolboy football and stuff. So I think it was a really good step up for him. I think the experience, and when you talk to the player, yeah, he, have a good attitude, willing listen and take follow the instruction good. So looking for another standout performance for him going forward through the tournament.
All right, so that's Jabari Owell. I think everybody unanimously knows, yeah, he's a player that we're looking for big things in this competition. Now Jamani Bell, he was, the player when he was at the U17 level. We probably had this preview and we were saying, yeah, we're hoping Jamani Bell can do some big things in this competition. Well, we fast forward a couple years later and he's back with
Do
the
you still
team.
remember the goal, the volley?
Of course, the Valley did bad. I think that was like the highlight of the entire thing.
Yeah,
That
well,
was the best thing happened for Jamaica in the whole thing. So yeah, he gave us that one highlight, and hopefully he can reproduce some of that magic in this competition. Now, heard that it wasn't the rosiest of camps for him in Florida in terms of some of the, dealing with the teammates and the coaching staff and what have you. On the field of play, you could almost get that sense as well because I didn't think he really gelled with a lot of the other players in those two performances in Florida. Um, almost almost like he was taking it to be like a little bit of a proving ground, like my kind of show say we belong in this team type
well,
of
I
thing,
think,
as opposed to just trying to fit in.
and you look at it, though, Jason. I think not being a part of the previous under 20, with a lot of persons asking for him and with. So I think sometimes players will want to come and really try to prove a point, right? So
Yeah,
he's there, he's there at the championship level right now. So I think be a part of the team now. Just need to really fight and get himself get his position, do what we have seen him been doing in MLS Next Pro as well.
yeah, because I mean, if you're looking at production and game time and just overall, getting minutes in a good quality league for his age, that is the definition of Jamani Bell so far. I mean, he's pretty much started from about, I'd say, 9, 10 games into the season pretty regularly now. Getting on the score sheet as well. I see him taking penalties for the team as well. So he's obviously one of the more technical dead ball players in the team. So, even when he was in the camp in Florida, took some corners, took some free kicks as well. So, definitely a player with a lot of quality. I think Jamaica, he has left Jamaica now for a few years.
Yeah, few years, yeah.
Um,
From what not
I
the
think he
last
left
17, the one
just,
before.
I think it was just after the cycle with the U17s he would have left.
Yeah,
Yeah,
some
so I think once that was done, pretty much he was gone. Ended up at the Houston Dynamo Academy, and he has since also signed pro contract, MLS Next pro contract with them. So he's a permanent fixture with the Houston 2 team. Typically plays one of the wing spots for them, whether off the
yeah,
left or the
more,
right.
more from right to left, but he's more half left at times.
Yeah, predominantly more off the left, and that is where we saw him playing when he played for Jamaica. Interestingly, though, in the second game, he actually played a little bit more in the midfield. So it's just going to be interesting as this develops, and that's why I asked about Howell. We have quite a few players that can operate in that little attacking midfield area. So it's going to be interesting how that pecking order looks for Austin into this competition. Will he sacrifice one of those players to give him more work rate, or will he just try to really play specialists in positions? That's something that I think he'll earn his stripes if he can push all those right buttons. Because I do think that there's a good, decent setup that can be made out of this team, but
Definitely, definitely.
you
And
can lose the balance sometimes when you're trying to get everybody on the pitch. And I'm interested to see how Austin kind of deal with that, because we've
and
seen that be an issue for senior coaches for Jamaica before.
yeah, and I think, as I said,
How will Austin go
you'll be up
figure that
against
out?
coaches out there. Delhi. I said the Canadian senior coach has decided to bring this team here. So I
Mhm.
think, as I said, Honduras as well have a very, very. I was watching them this evening, watching some training videos they put out and stuff.
Mhm.
Saw them play a couple of games in the they had this under 19 tournament in Central America, Nicaragua, Belize, and all these teams, and they are missing a lot of players as well. So
Yeah,
looking forward
Honduras.
to it, and I
I
said
know, I know they had
I
some
think
players that couldn't make it due to injury. I know
yeah,
they had some
and I think
issues getting the more professional players to get out
yeah,
of their teams as well. So, as you said, Jamaica's not the only ones dealing with it. So we'll see. All right, so moving on the list from Jamani Bell, now the next one on there is Sean Layton. He's a player that, if you paid attention to the qualifiers, you would have seen him there. Had a decent showing in that competition. He's another one like Nolan, I thought was a little bit wasteful in front of goal. Probably could have got more goals, he probably tell it so himself. But he probably did score one of the goals of the competition, that left foot half
yeah,
volley
yeah.
cutting in off the right was a brilliant, brilliant strike off the underside of the bar. I don't know about you, Marlon, but when a goal go in and it clip any piece of the bar, it somehow make it better to me. I don't know
Well,
why, but
that
it
means
make it more memorable or something.
yeah,
I
well,
don't know.
definitely.
But
That's always true. As
and you and I don't know. I guess because you're on the show, that goal remind me of the goal that your boy that scored, the Man U boy will get injured. I think he got injured in that game against Arsenal when him scored a volley
yeah,
from way out and it hit off the underside of the bar and go in.
yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
Dorgu,
There you
and
go.
score a rotted goal. But yeah, that goal reminded me of that goal. But Sean Layton, as I said, he went on some trials recently, had good reports and feedback. Always an issue as to why something don't come trials, but from what I understood, very really impressed the last time he went on one of those. A player that I think a lot of attributes that would make me want to work on him as a project. I think he's two-footed, which is great for a Jamaican player, very rare for a Jamaican player. Looks to not worry which foot he's kicking with. And I think that helps him as well playing either right or left, which could help him to get more game time in this competition as well. The coach has been using him predominantly off the right-hand side, so I don't expect that to change. And I think because he's so two-footed, that's probably why they stick him on that side. If he cuts in, he's still dangerous shooting with that foot. Can take it on the outside as well. Not prototypically the winger's height, because he has the height of a centre back or a striker or even a goal.
Yeah, man.
But I think his technical level, the way he plays, it kind of makes sense for him to play wide. But I think he's a good player, man. I think he's still a bit raw. He's still a bit raw, but he's you can see that there's a player in there.
As I said, I think he's
not to cut you off, also very good showing in the JPL for a team that's
yeah. I was coming to that. The first time I saw him in the JPL, I don't think I didn't see that you saw the raw material there. When I came back and they were playing against Mount Pleasant in the Papaya Cup, it was a quarterfinal.
Mm-hmm.
I saw something there. Yes, it wasn't our full first team, but I saw something for him: coach skill, close control skill, ball movement, moving off the ball. Right? I tell you, he has a left foot.
Yeah, man.
He has a left foot, and when you watch him, I said it to you, Jason. When you watch him close up, what he does with that ball when it's at his feet, bro, it's as I can say. I think anybody who watch him and Jabari or close up, you basically see the talent level, and you just want to see them get that exposure and finish off and get them off to the professional level.
Yeah, agreed. I think it's one that I think people probably looked at him with a lot of scrutiny. Obviously, coming out of the camp he's coming out of, but to be fair, I mean, he definitely proved a lot of doubters wrong this season. I mean, 5 goals, 2 assists, not bad at all.
Yeah, man.
2 appearances, and I think even separate and apart from the goals and the assists, if you watched any games that they played, he was definitely the danger for their team.
Yeah, and he has good link up as well.
16/17-year-old kid.
It's one thing I want to see him.
So.
One aspect I wanted to see him really improve on, and I said it to him as well. Sometimes when you're isolated with a player, one-on-one, just leave him. Just you have the skill set to take him on and leave him. You don't have to. And
I agree. I think
as he goes older, that's something he will basically work on and make him a better player.
Yeah, I agree, Marlon. I think there's times when he maybe overthinks what he wants to do. At times when you get the ball on that wing and you get that 1v1 situation, it's really nothing else the coach wanted to do other than take on that player and try to beat that player. And I think sometimes he looks to combine when the better play is to just take on his player. So I agree with you there. But again, he's rare for a Jamaican winger in that I think he has good ball retention.
Yeah, I think that's one of his main attributes as well.
Absolutely. So I think again, what he lacks in that raw pace, because he's a bit rangy and everything. I think his IQ is really good. I think also he has really good timing as well when to arrive into situations. So I think he's a player that will probably give a good account of himself in this competition as well. So Sean Layton, looking forward to what he brings again against
I'm going to say this to you, Jason. Defenders facing him, especially wing back, if they slip up against him, he's gonna take them. He's gonna take them up. He's gonna go past them with ease. Because of it, the lankiness of him, another person will say, "Oh, he's not a traditional winger, but he has that skill. He has space, can get past you as well, and because he's two-footed as well, so he can cut in, he can go side and beat you both ways."
Yep.
The only the only thing is we are see he's not the most physical player, and
Mm-hmm.
I think playing especially even against the Honduran team where you find them being a little physical when the technicality is not going for them, they're gonna get physical, and I think how he comes out in that first game against them, if he's starting, it's gonna show you how he progressed on that game as well.
Yeah, man. That is true. That is very, very true. So, Janai Steadman, we now get much stats on him because I don't think transfer market go all the way to the Major League and Super League level. Marlon, if I'm not mistaken, I know he played for Stets, but didn't he also represent a club out there? What is it, Stets Elite or something like that?
I think it was keeping for Sets Elite.
Yeah,
Um,
that's that.
they, they, I think they made it to the tier two
I don't know if they made it all the way.
at
I
the
think they
playoff.
made the playoff, but I don't know if they got through the playoff or not. That's something where if Bam's still around, maybe he will drop something on that. But I know they did decent in the competition and he was the keeper. So I know he has some experience at like a big man type of level. But again, I would expect in a competition where you only get 3 group games and then you're into a knockout phase, barring any red card or injury, I don't see Grant being pushed for the first spot. But if there was ever a thought that Grant wasn't going to play, I do believe that Stedman would be the next person up in line. And
And
I do think that
I
Grant is
agree with
better than
that.
him, but I don't think Stedman is terrible. That's to be honest. I don't think he's bad.
I was really looking forward to seeing Gardner there as a backup, but unfortunately, the injury has really played his
So,
part.
so if Gordon was healthy, that would be your backup to
He
Grant.
would be my second choice. Yeah,
Yeah, I think if you had any doubts about him from Manning Cup, once you saw him playing at Cavalier in the playoffs and stuff,
yeah, man,
he
definitely. And I
he,
think
he didn't look out, he
and
didn't look out of place as a first team goalkeeper. So
even
yeah,
and
I agree with you.
we mentioned I think Murray was a big surprise,
Huge. I
right?
thought they would have gone for the Mobe kid again.
Yeah, tingling.
Yeah. I mean, just because he was in the qualifiers, so why
Yeah,
would you change that dynamic, If unless he's injured too, I don't know. I didn't hear anything about that. Um Then Stedman. So all right, the next one, you guys, if you follow this football thing at the youth level for Jamaica, you should know this player. If you watch Premier League as well, you should know this player. He broke through. Well, I can't even say broke through because I think he had actually gotten game time last year as well before this one. And that is Dwayne Berger, listed as a Waterhouse FC2 player. But yeah, I think he definitely predominantly is a first teamer now. Let me see if I can get the JPL stats then because these man's not telling the truth with some of them stats. But yeah, what do you know of the player Berger that you want to let the people them know about, Marlon?
well, from what I saw of him early part of the season, I said he played a few games in the season before. This year was there and there for Waterhouse. We saw what he has done in schoolboy football as well. Steady player, steady player. I think there's a lot for him to work about. He has an ability, and been around the Waterhouse systems for a couple of seasons now. Right back, he played right back for him a couple of games. So just looking forward for him to probably not one of those glamour players that we're really looking for people raving about. A lot of person normally go for the more offensive type players. Essentially, he's one that I'm looking forward to see to really move on again, transition up again to this under 20 team.
Yeah, so Berger, as you can see, 15 appearance in the league last year, 1 goal. Predominantly playing, it says midfield, but predominantly plays right back when he plays for Waterhouse. And similarly was deployed there for the U20 as well. Did get a game in midfield, but that was one of the games where the score got out on and he kind of just
Yeah,
end up in midfield. I
I
don't think
remember.
he was in
Remember,
midfield.
he was the one who started at right back.
Yeah, he started.
Yes.
He started one game at right back, and
Yeah.
I think he came on in some other games and played right back as well. But I know one of the games when he came on, he started. He
I think
came
it
on
was
and actually
I
played
think
in
it was
midfield.
was the Saint Kitts game when they decided to turn up the volume.
Right. So Um, he definitely was one of the standouts for the U17. So I agree with Rob there. Was playing kind of out of position on the left side there, but kind of used his ability and just his physicality at that age to kind of really dominate players on that side throughout that competition. Um, and we're gonna see. I think, as you said, this is probably more so like a utility type player. Maybe he looked at it and said, okay, even if he's on the edge of making this team, he's been
You
around the
know,
team at this point. So
it remind me of going forward, Dean Sewell
yeah, I
back in the
could see
days.
that. I could see that. He has a good delivery on him from the right side.
Going
Uh,
forward, you see him dashing back to get back to the defensive third.
yeah. I could see that. I could see that. Dean Swell, Dean, if he can attain the level where Dean did reach in terms of like, because Dean was a technical player.
Yeah,
So if
man.
he can continue to get like that level, then that would be great. But yeah, Dwayne Berger. As I say, I don't know how much, but he could surprise us. And Austin say, "Hey, I'm going with this kid," because to be honest, he's like one of them guys where him will give you a performance. Him gonna put in something, some tackle. Him gonna do something, right? So, we'll see how much him get used.
And,
Bless up, Carlton and I building.
big up yourself, Soldier. And what I like
Bless
about
up,
him still is
David
the
J.
energy that he brings to the game. He always want to really, if he's going forward, you can see that level of energy there coming back same way, right? And it's really good to see when players are moving around on the field, not really just standing around, even with out of position or stuff. You basically always on the front foot.
Yep. Let me see if I can find the ball here. No. So the next player on the list, people, don't think I'll get much on sofa score. So I'll work with this again. So I have to find the player real quick. But the next player we're going to talk about, people, is one that I think was one of the main contributors to us getting to the U17 World Cup, as well as Nolan and Berger, and that is Jamon Lyle. So Jamon Lyle making this roster. Um, Probably very well warranted as well, because he didn't play so much in the Premier League, but when he did play, he was impactful. Made 6 appearances, had 3 goals. Probably some would argue that the coach should have tried his hand with him more when they got to the playoffs. But Jamon Lyle gets into this team, and I don't think many people can complain about that. Like, what say you, Marlon?
Well, we saw it from last season when that front four for JC, right? And he brought he and Nolan. I said both of them were really they wreak a lot of havoc going through the under 17.
Mm-hmm.
And we always talk about his ability going front foot. A lot of persons that he still need to work on that is defensive aspect, but his skill set, right? The skill level that he has to see what he came and did in the JPL, right? Good against season campaigners. He showed that this kid have a heart, he has the ability, he has talent. Just for him to keep grounded and really develop himself. And it's no surprise for me. It's no surprise. It's no surprise of him being there. I said, very flary player. He's gonna give you a goal. He's gonna give you that energy you want going forward. As I said, still young, developing player. But when you talk about, it's good to really have a same player moving from that under 17 team up to, right, up to the under 20 team. That says something that they are really at that level with them.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm going to be honest. When the U20 first started, I mean U17, sorry, first started out, I was saying, look, it's obvious that the kid have whole heap of talent, But from his playing style, I just worried that it would be like one less player on the field because he only wanted to play when the ball come to his foot. But I definitely was being a bit harsh because even though I wouldn't say that his work rate is incredible, he's not necessarily a lazy player either. I just had to figure out like him have a certain style to him game that maybe I wasn't
And
really
and Jason,
noticing.
not really continuing, but when you look at when he comes down for Waterhouse,
Hmm.
you see, I think the style of play and the system that the coach has there. You see basically how he wants to be in the game. He wants the ball, right? And he still find himself deep at a time when he need to defend. And we're all saying that even the Canada game in under 17, when we wanted that fight out there, right? At least he works out. He was a outlet up there and really got us a goal. So, but when they talk about talent and ability at a young age at him and say to being from the under 17 to really now stepping up to the under 20 qualifier, I think he's somebody who, if he gets the opportunities, he will really go out there and play. And not he's always high on confidence, and that's something you can't really beat a player for being confident.
Yeah, no, you can't. And look, I think as long as some of the issues that I heard about off the field can stay under control, ability wise, man, if him can keep the good people around him, keeping him focused, yeah, man, the sky's the limit for the kid. I mean, I heard that when he had a little stint over in Brazil, everybody loved what they were seeing. It just couldn't really work out properly for him to stay. But if it could have, he probably would have stayed. So let's see. You never know what can come of these competitions if you really perform and you show out.
Yeah, and
You never know where you can.
you will have scouts there, right?
Absolutely.
You will have scouts there, especially with the high coming off a World Cup and stuff. So
Yeah, because I'm sure, from just off his U17 alone, there's people tracking him.
yeah,
So you see the progression, and what better way if you're tracking a player from U17 to see his level than to see him play with the older age group. So it's going to be interesting. I think he has a lot to prove, and I think he has the game to prove some things. So let's just say again, Austin, it's a good problem to have, but some people not going to be able to play that much. You know what I mean? So it's going to be interesting, I think.
well, the good thing about it, Jason, when you're making changes,
Hmm.
when you have changes there and you're making changes and you're the
No
first
drop
11,
off.
and when you're
Yeah.
coming on, don't bring down your level. That's
Hmm.
always good thing for a coach to have.
That's true. We
And
will have
when a
some good
player,
attacking options in certain areas
yeah,
to,
and
to continue.
when a player definitely knows that, guess what, there's a chance for him to really come off and really bring his ability to the table, right? That's definitely something good.
Absolutely. All right. So the next player on the list after Jamon, we'll have some stats that we can throw on. I was trying to get the stats on the screen from Jamon, but for some reason the link on the JPL site wasn't pulling it up. But this is Raekwon Campbell Dennis. He is somebody that would have been U15 if the papers could have came through in time, but played U17, made the progression now to the U20, and had a good showing in the qualifying tournament for this as well. Playing deeper in midfield sometimes, playing right behind the striker sometimes. He has been playing right back for Toronto FC2, but based on the players selected in the team, I believe that he'll probably be playing more so in midfield for this Jamaica U20 team. Well, like I said, with that Toronto FC team, even though he plays right back, they do play a quite a modern system. So he spends a lot of time inverted as well.
Inverted,
So
yeah.
he does get his chances to show his class in that area of the field. But yeah, Raekwon Campbell Dennis for me, I have yet to see him really play bad for Jamaica ever in any competition. Like he's always give you a solid 7 out of 10.
And it's, as I said, Slaughter, I think Austin has a lot of big call to make. You look at Raekwon starting for TFC and really putting in some good performance as well. As I said,
Mhm.
still, I originally had him as the backup for Owen Jump, but
Mhm.
me and him more than not being there now. right? So I think it will come down to between him and Berger, which one of them goes in that midfield, right? But I think he has a lot to offer. As I said, he's somebody who goes forward, tracks back very good as well, very good with the ball, technical player, and it's really good when you have players who are good with the ball, want to use the ball, not to just take the ball and boot it up out of your defense line.
Oh
So
gosh,
I
man.
think,
You
as I
can
said,
give that kid the ball in a phone boot, Marlon. He might come out with it.
yeah, man. So I think that's one of the good thing. I said still, if you compare this under 20 team to the previous under 20 team, I think you have like for like players, and I think as I said before, I don't see they really falling off that far.
Yeah, the last U20 was definitely like a top heavy team. Like you had couple man where we can trust in them man there. And then it was kind of like we are pray that some man just turn up. Well, we never really have so much faith in, just if we're
That's
being
all.
honest. So just going through this team a couple times tonight, both of us have said, boy, I still have a call to make there and there and there. The one worry is there's other positions that we're saying John was is a one man we have So it's going to be interesting, but I do
Yeah,
think in certain areas,
very that, and
Austin
I
have an
think
embarrassment of decision. For me, if I'm going to play the system where you were leaning towards the 4-2-3-1, I like the balance between a JJ and a Raekwon as the two deeper player.
I said there are two ball anglers, and I said he as I said he played a few games with there for them. So
Yeah, because I think even though Raekwon is like not the biggest stature, he plays like a pit bull. He plays with a lot of energy. He will tackle. He will screen. He's just a hardworking player. So I
and
wouldn't be
and that's why I said it's gonna be a big call, and that's
big call,
at
big
the
call.
right back position. I think because they might be. I'm not even gonna say having better exposure because I said Berger has played in the JPL, right? So he's playing
No,
high
well,
level
for
in
me,
Jamaica.
I don't even think Berger is in the mix because
But
if you're talking about right back, you have the Mario there.
yeah, so
I don't,
it's between
But I
Recon
don't think I don't think
and
Berger
Demario.
can play over Demario if we're being honest right now at the right back spot. Then if you want to play Raekwon at right back because that's where he's been playing, that to me push Berger even further because he's probably better at that position than Berger would be too. So it's just one of those things. It's just one of those things. I don't like. I think you'd have a better chance to get game if him just play as a right back because I do think that Austin sees Raekwon in his midfield. I don't think he's gonna take Raekwon out of that midfield. Not after what him show him in the qualifiers.
But that's true still. That's true.
So let's see how it goes. But Raekwon, I think the good thing for him as a player where I did rate from U17, I was hoping that him could have progressed and progressed. The fact him get into the Toronto FC2 team as a starter now in the MLS next, big ups to him for getting that progression done because it's natural that some players gonna keep going, some gonna stay stuck at a little
Yes.
bit. But Raekwon, I'm happy for him that him can keep on pushing on and Toronto see the value and give him contract. Yeah, man, him can definitely pick a pass too. All right, so the next player on the list, he'll be wearing number 17, and that is Santana Headley. Now, Santana Headley in the qualifying stages was used predominantly as a number 6 in the midfield. That's when he played, he was literally coming on to give Owen Jump a rest. Even at certain games, got the start in that number 6 role as well, playing sometimes as a double pivot or even as a lone 6. But ever since that qualifier ended, we've only seen Santana Headley play centre back. He made 7 appearances this or 6 appearances this season in the JPL. Don't know when those games were. It looks like they were towards the end of the season. Um, and he did play a couple of those games at centre back as well. So I stand corrected. The man played centre back under his manager of this team in the JPL in a couple of games. So there you go. Didn't know that happened. I thought his first time playing centre back in front of anybody
Well,
was
well, I
U20.
said still he sees him every day, right? So
Yeah,
he
it's
sees him.
one of
So
those ones where I think most selections, I don't think any selection of any team
Guys, it seems like Jason has frozen up. So as he was touching on Santana, said he played a couple of games as a something there, as a centre back. So he has experience from the JPL. JSO system don't know, so I don't have the to really put up. Yeah, guys. So Jason has so he's trying to fix what the connection.
All right, I don't know what while ago. It's like a sniper just shoot down my internet.
Yes, freeze out.
I don't know what my FBI watch. I don't know what going on. Santana have some powerful fans out there. Um, so yeah, basically, we that talk about Headley, and basically it's a project, right? The coach, a film player, and him see something in the player that me not seeing right now. But hey, coach, you have a higher license than me, and you know the game, but you know the player better than me. So I go work with what you doing, coach. But I
I
just
say,
telling you, see,
I
I
say
don't see, don't
he
see.
has a play in his hand basically. So on a day-to-day basis, I guess he's basically seeing something there in training that as I said, we are not training to see. So I think he feel he have that level to really bring to the national team.
Yeah. So look, Santana, I mean, you're in the team, and based on who I see him playing at centre back, you're literally the only third person that's an option to play centre back. So if we ever want to play a back five, it look like we just gonna have all the centre back on the field because we don't really have more than three.
Yes,
So and
no
really
backup.
it's about 2.5. So yeah, look, centre back to me, I mean, even more so than the lack of a Seymour up front, I think centre back is a serious, serious thing. So I still gonna have to try and manage that whole
Definitely,
situation
definitely.
some kind of way, but it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting because to me, the centre back them kind of pick themselves, which is never the greatest situation to be in a tournament, because what if one of them get carried out or
Yeah,
anything
yeah,
happen?
and
So,
we have to also look for that and those factors in the game, card and injury and everything.
yeah. Yeah, so
And
the good thing
sometime
is
bar, bar
the two rest days are kind of better for Concacaf. Normally, Concacaf try cram in about 1 million game in a one day, so at least they will get 2 days after every game. That's a help, because I think the centre back them going to have to play a lot of minutes.
yeah,
If
definitely.
we're gonna have success.
I think with the wing backs, barring and how we are performing in the game, I think he can know to use those players. I think the midfield as well.
Mhm. Yeah, the
Um,
good thing is we have a lot of areas on the pitch where he can afford to keep people fresh, because as I said, there's no big drop off from player to player in a lot of the positions. So that's a good plus. But I think the one area where that don't exist is centre back. So we'll see how the coach come up with the solutions them there. All right. So the next player that did end up making this team is Kimarley Scott. And Kimarley Scott name don't have a E. So that's why it's not popping up. There he goes. Kimberly Scott, 19 years of age now. Obviously, Manning Cup champion, Cavalier, making it all the way to what, the finals. Um, so yeah, he definitely broke out this year, similar to Howell, really and truly, going from strength to strength. Now, we learned recently he's probably going to attend university at VCU, that's Virginia Commonwealth, Division One school, very good level in the NCAA Division One.
Yeah, team that normally find themselves in the top eight. So
Yeah, they're regularly in the NCAA tournament and a lot of time make a good long run in it as well. Um, I think one of their players just got drafted. One of their players that left just got drafted to the MLS Super Draft. So, I mean, we have heard a lot of divisive opinions on the player, whether it's the right move for him at this stage and this and that. Everybody part is different, is the way me see it. And
and that's true, Jesse. And it's been a long time we haven't had a player being getting an opportunity to go to one of these top 10 or top 15
no,
universities or college
no,
in the US. So
and I think of late, Marlon, it's been a lot of NAIA, junior college,
yeah, you,
division,
you don't really get
low
you don't
division
really get to
one
see
or division
a lot of
two.
them.
And,
If
and and to be honest, those are the type of places where unless you're the national player of the year, I
nobody
don't
sees you.
think these clubs are looking at you.
Yeah,
So
because especially because when if you're playing in the SEC or the Big 12 or the Big 10 coming around the pack, they see you. And so when you reach national now, when you reach that top 16, you get more highlight. But when you're playing and you're controlling your conference as a Division One, everybody get to see you. And teams are games are being broadcast regularly. Most of the Division Two games, unless you're in that top echelon of teams, you don't get to see the players. And we have a lot of players who goes on scholarship, but you might hear about them, they score a couple goals, right?
yeah, thanks to the likes of Abam and others that kind of follow up these players, we wouldn't hear much about them just based on the level that they go to. Now, this kid going to VCU, they play in the Atlantic 10. That is, basically brother to the Big Ten and the ACC, where all the big schools are. And they have been building like a powerhouse type of program in this sport at that school. So the people that saying boy is not the greatest move for him, like professionally, I just think maybe them jump the gun a little bit because them never do the research about the school he's going. But I can assure you, it's not a terrible move for the kid. I did hear rumors that there could have been some professional offers on the table if he just stuck it out and played professionally still. But at the same time, those same professional opportunities will not go away just because he decided to try and play some collegiate football.
Yeah,
So,
and guess what? Once you're in the college system, there are more eyes here because there's a lot of players now. Instead of being drafted in the US, players are being getting opportunity to go to Europe.
yep,
There are a lot of persons who are playing Division One. They didn't get drafted. A lot of them turned on NFL MLS draft, right? Because what happened now the MLS when you go to the combines, even when you're in the top 10, you don't get that guarantee like before, like when Blake and Mattox and Deshaun Brown and all those
you
guys.
can you can be you can be like Nick Simmons, for example.
Yeah.
He was a top five pick, and it's not like he was guaranteed a contract with the first team. And
Luckily, luckily,
guaranteed anything.
he has gotten some minutes. That's
So yeah, I
before
mean, it's not the same with
once
those.
you're before the MLS. Once you're drafting in the number in the top 10, you get the Adidas contract and you're guaranteed your 2 seasons, right? With that with the club, third season optional for them. It doesn't work that way anymore. Either you're gonna go out on loan or you go play MLS Pro unless you come and you're really hitting on walls and kicking on doors.
Exactly. Yeah. So this guy, as I said, just went crazy. Five
Yeah, and
appearances,
very we
goal.
saw what he did at the latter part of the JPA
Yep.
season coming into
Crazy.
and when you talk about somebody who was coming with that vibe, right? Brought it straight through, scoring goal, creating wreaking havoc on defenders as well. And I think if he goes and really changes game to a wing forward, he can cause a lot of problem for players because he has speed, he has that fighting ability, right? As an out and out number nine.
Yeah, it's almost amazing because when I see the kid's stature, and I'm like, well, the number nine thing now gonna really work in the big leagues.
I think watching him when you watch him
Bro,
play schoolboy for Excelsior, you say yeah, he's not playing against the best every day. But when you saw him coming, especially in the playoff for Cavalier, you say yes, this kid has something special.
the game translates right onto the field same way. I mean, in that playoff, he was remarkable, bro. The man scored a brace in the two back-to-back games. Scoring in the final as well.
Yeah,
And what I love about him at this young age in the playoff, I know it's Cavaliers, so them give youths a chance, but I mean, he literally was playing every minute of every game, two back-to-back extra time and play all of the game. So it's a guy where clearly is a very well-conditioned player, and even when you look at like the time of some of them goal limit, we attack at the depth of games to tie up games and to take the lead. And trust me, you definitely show me that him have ability just him just have a way to just find a way. And you can always work with a youth like that. Now, for me personally, if Nolan is gonna be the starter and we're making subs, we're taking off the striker, me, I put Scott on the field as the second striker onto the team because as I say, Gio have the experience at this level in terms of international exposure and them things, but you have to go with the player we're hot. And right now, I don't see a hotter U20 striker, at least playing in the JPL than Kimali Scott. So we'll see if Austin agree with me or not. I've seen some clips of the starting lineup of some practice match and look like Taylor kind of in front of him in the pecking order. But we'll see how it go when it actually come down to the game time in the tournament. All right, so moving on from Kimali, now we have a couple more to get through. Then we're gonna lock off the show for the night. So Brandon Bent, he is at Miami FC. They play in USL Championship, which is the second tier. So one of the few that playing above that MLS Next Pro, USL even League One level. So he's at the championship level, which is good. Um, in the league so far, I'm just going to show you what he's done in all competitions this season since basically from January to now. Him gone 10 appearances in the championship and 2 in the USL Cup. Majority of his appearances for the team is off of the bench. The one start he had is normally playing either left wing or left midfielder. So doesn't really play left back for his club team. But definitely I think is a shoe-in right now for that left back role, especially if what we have heard about Plunkett is true and he will be out. So yeah, Bent is definitely going to have to be solid on that left hand side. I think he gives you all. I think he's basically the U20 version of Greg Lee. I swear, like he
well,
reminds me so much
as
of.
he, as he mentioned it, I just looking into it now. Solid, robust player.
I mean,
Oh, when you mention
at
Greg,
this level, he's probably pound for pound one of the strongest in the competition. The man is strong, brother. Trust me.
as I
Um,
said, because if you compare where he's been playing now, getting at that, I think last year was starting a lot. Basically start and substitution as well. But he has an experience. He has a
also,
ex-
also has Concacaf experience as well. So he did go
yeah.
through a U17 cycle.
So I think he has one of the players. So he might be one of our more experienced player playing at that level.
Yeah,
And even when you look at it, and I said the good thing about it, this team of players who are playing regularly and have that experience. So I think that's gonna really bring a lot to the team, having players who are playing basically regularly every time.
yeah. I think all the players, especially that are playing in the US, that have them season, basically, they're in like mid-season form at this point. That will be helpful for us. I do agree. I do agree with that assessment. But Bent, I think, will be a key contributor for sure.
Like definitely. I think his defense stability from him really help us out a lot.
Yeah, man, I agree. I agree. And I think people who don't see him play will probably take some more note of him after this competition here. Now, this player is one that get a lot of attention going into this tournament. Everybody wanted to know, will Che be a part of it? And yes, he actually will be there, number 20 at Stockport in League One. Last year, got a handful, a little more than two, like basically two handful of appearance in the first team, which for him he was 18 at the time last year. For them, of course, he got the bulk of his minutes in the in like the PL Trophy tournament.
And this, yeah, and this the AFL trophy.
Yeah, AFL Trophy was where he got a lot of his starts and his contributions and whatnot. And I also did play twice in the EFL Cup as well. But yeah, he's predominantly been played. Well, he's been played all over the place, but he did play towards the end of the season as a right back, which
Yeah,
was
yeah.
kind of
The
as a
right
left.
back was out on suspension, so
Yeah, he had. Well, they had the
had few
playoffs coming
starts.
up. They had the playoffs coming up. Couldn't really move much in the table. They were at the time between fifth or fourth, so they knew that. So they didn't really have a need to play everybody. Plus, they had some players trying to nurse back to be ready for the playoffs. So he got his opportunity at right back in two straight games. Once he played almost the full 90. The next time he was a halftime substitute. I think he was on a yellow card that game. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, because I did watch. I didn't watch the Peterborough one, but I did watch the Portvale one. I remember watching that one. And for me, best position probably right now, a right or left midfielder or a right winger. I think he's a player that has enough tricks in the bag to where I wouldn't mind to see him play as attacker in this tournament. But again, there are some areas of the pitch where maybe we need some help. So it's gonna be interesting what Austin thinks of him and where he thinks is the best place for him. The way how Austin set up him team, do you think just off the right hand side is probably the best place to put Che?
Well, I think when I'm sitting and looking, I think on the right hand side, um, so that means probably Sean doesn't start,
Okay.
but I think what Che we really bring to the team is a level of playing in a higher level, the exposure that he has got, his technical ability, right? But it's something now he have to come and really adjust himself now to Concacaf football. It's gonna be the first time he's playing in this year. So he has to really come adjust. Yes, you have the experience of playing in the UK, but we all know that when you come here to basically play in Concacaf, it doesn't matter where you're coming from. And especially let them know that he has experience of playing in League One, right? So he's somebody we have been calling for from under 17, last under 20 as well. So when I saw the squad and it was a Thursday or Friday,
Mhm.
it was really a really good feeling just seeing his name there. And looking forward to seeing him come and really put an impact on the team.
Yeah, agreed. Agreed. Look, I think one hope that I have is that people, I think because of who his father is, who he is, and he's playing in England, the expectation might be really high. Um, and I guess it's warranted because if you're that age, you're getting first team chances in League One in England, you must have some serious ability. And then when you factor
Definitely.
in that it's Bibi's son, it's like, okay, I hope Bibi at least let him understand, like, hey, you don't have to try to move the mountain in the first minute of the game because you think you have to, right? Just play within yourself, bring your skill set to the table, yes, but just don't you don't need to overdo it. And I'm
And I
sure
think
Bibi talking to
I
him about.
think what really make him good, he does the simple stuff.
Exactly. And that's why I'm saying, like, hopefully, the whole, who your father is, we've been waiting for you to play. him don't let that get into how him play, because if him keep it simple how him always play, I think he'll have the most success, right? So I hope him can do that. I don't see why he wouldn't be able to, but I just hope he can. I just hope he can. By the way, is this right, Marlon? Justin Murray is a Reno player.
The what?
He play for Reno.
I don't know about that. He was out. He played for Mile Gully last
That's
time
what
I
I
heard.
thought. That's what I thought. He was a mile goalie player, but I don't know if I don't. This could very well be wrong. I mean, it's transfer market, so it don't have to be right. But just found that kind of strange because I never know there was any allegiance to Reno at all with the player. But Justin Murray, if you follow the teams, you would know him from the U17 the last time. Not the last one that just qualified, but the one before that where we fell just short. He was the starting goalkeeper for that team. Um, but yeah, I think he's kind of regressed a little bit, especially when you look at his performances for Glenmuir, a team that was like favorites to win the Costa Cup right through the season. Ended up not quite getting it over the line in the end. And, I think part of it was some poor goalkeeping from him. So I would think out of all the players on this list, you can know that we really follow up the team if I'm, not complaining about the third string keeper, but I'm wondering how we make it. But it's just because I happen to know a little bit about the players, and it's kind of surprising to me. But hey, it is what it is. He's an experienced player, at least at the Concacaf level. So maybe they chose to go with a voice in the locker room that maybe been around a little bit more. I don't know if he's that type of personality though to be like a galvanizing force within a team, but because normally you want your backup keepers to be very positive, just kind of good because they have to know they're probably not going to play, but they need to have that positive attitude. They need to want to
Yeah,
take part in the
and
drills
that's
because
true. We
players
have we
need
have
goalkeepers to really try stop them shots, and it takes a certain type of character to be a second or third string keeper in a tournament like this. And sometimes you maybe don't go with the best talent, but you go with what's going to gel with the team better. So my hope is that they have thought about all of those things when picking all the keepers. Um, but yeah, that's basically the 21 right there, the three goalkeepers and the rest of the team. Just as a reminder to everybody, I think they have it on SofaScore and Transfer Market fully. So I don't have to go to another page. Yeah, so this is the team. They have the numbers and everything. So they do have it on here. So Joshua Grant, Damario McIntosh, Jaquan Brown, Dante Plunkett. We'll put a big asterisk by that one. We did get reports that he may have suffered an injury setback in the training camp. So we're gonna wait for the confirmation as to is he gonna be fit enough to go? If not, who is gonna replace? Heard some stuff about the possible replacement, but don't want to really break that until we get some full clarity. But we do know that there was a setback for Plunkett, so we're kind of fingers crossed waiting on some more information. Kai McLean, Owen Jump, Jamari Nolan, Jermaine JJ Young listed as a striker, but definitely not a striker. He's a midfielder. Giovanni Taylor probably will be playing more forward than midfielder. Jabari Howell, Jamani Bell, Sean Layton, Janai Stedman, Dwayne Berger, Jamon Lyle, Raekwon Campbell Dennis, Santana Headley, Kimberly Scott, Brandon Bent, Che Gardner, and Justin Murray. So that is the 21 for Jamaica. Look, it's 2 hours and 30. I wanted to maybe get through some of the other opponents, but guess what? There's always another day, people. So what we're going to do is this was the full Jamaica Rasta breakdown.
breakdown.
We'll have this in a separate video. And then what we'll do is if Marlon hopefully can join again, we'll go through the group C because
Yeah, man,
people,
we go through the group C and the other groups as well.
yeah, man, it's important that we know the other teams as well because if you're going to grade the players, grade the coach, grade all the performance, you have to know where them are go up against so you can give a proper grade. So we're gonna try helping you with that as well. As we move forward. We don't have that much time till the competition start. And once it gets started, we want to track the other groups as well because that's potential opponents in the next
Yeah,
round.
definitely. You have to basically know not you have to basically
Because we
know
want
what
we'll all get the calculator more than once one gameplay and say, okay, maybe we can get this a team. So in order to do that, we have to know what we're going. So um,
definitely
what
because
we're gonna do is tomorrow I will come back again, similar time as well. We'll do a nice little late night show. Done with the family, them gone to them bed, we can do my thing. So around this time tomorrow, people will rejoin and we're going to focus on our Group C opponents. Go through them squad as well. Talk about some players. We have some omissions from their teams as well. We're going to tell them about. Because trust me, we dodge a bullet with one team in particular. So we can talk about that tomorrow night. But big up to Marlon for coming on and joining tonight, and
yeah
big
man,
up
we
to those
wanted
who did tune in. If you haven't already, people, remember it is YouTube, so please do smash up the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and yeah, to from Marlon and myself, I want to say big up. Thanks
yeah
for
man.
tuning in, Marlon. Before we cut out, you have anything you want to say, just total on the team or anything at all? Close it
Well,
off.
I think as I said, um, barring a few players omission and a few other players that they're banking and getting on, right? So I think probably one of the best squad we could have picked. Haven't got a lot of international exposure. However, they have tried over the past couple of weeks to play against some JPL team, right? Which they have some very fair result, positive result as well. So at least they are getting some minutes under their legs. So looking forward to see that. And once we can come out and reach into the quarter final, you know that knockout football. Sometimes not every day the best team go through knockout football. You just need luck on your side. We saw Cuba did it, beat
Mm-hmm.
us, went through, got Honduras, knocked them over, went to the World Cup.
Yep.
So
Yep, it's possible. It's possible. It is
yeah,
definitely possible. So Marlon, big up again and
yeah man,
respect
bless up.
for joining the panel tonight. You know, I always tell you, you're knowledgeable about the thing. So I'm gonna really let on people on this channel. So if you know,
Yeah man,
um,
we're here man, we're here. You know, so once you come to football and educating people and letting people know what's going on in Concacaf, right? And I think this under 20 championship, we're gonna see some players out there.
yeah,
Not from the big boys, not from the big boys. We have 4 Caribbean teams, and I think Antigua, I think they have some talented players there, and it's really good to see really the smaller Caribbean teams really stepping up. You look at Trinidad not being there, right? Damripa, who has been
yeah. It's not the usual suspects
right,
from the Caribbean either. You know, it's some
and
new breed of forward. So
and I
just
think
goes to show
I think we
the
saw a
development
pretty
is
good
happening.
Bermudan team
Mm-hmm.
that got knocked out by Costa Rica. So our football
They were close.
in CFU is growing.
Yeah, that's definitely true. That's definitely true. At one
It's,
point, we used to say, boy, we have to seek everything outside of the
yeah,
Caribbean.
I remember at one
But to
point
be
Costa Rica
honest,
was
with
going.
our financial
At one
situation,
point Costa Rica was on the way dropping out.
right, and with our financial situation, we can't really get the games with the Costa Ricas and the Honduras and the Panamas as much. So we need them team here in the Caribbean to improve so that when we
Yeah,
play
definitely.
against them, we get something more tight. So yeah, it all goes hand in hand. And as you
And it's
said, tomorrow we'll let the people know a bit more about our group, and not only our group, but the rest of the teams them in the
a group as
competition.
well.
So yeah, man, big up Marlon
Yeah,
and big up
man.
to the people
Bless
them
up.
out there.
Bless everyone in the chat and
Another
everything.
episode of Reasoning Time finish. I am Jay Saguna. This is Jay Saguna TV. Until next time, people,
Yeah, man. Bless
like,
up.
share, subscribe. Yeah, man, and stay up, people. One love. Bless.